Time to wake up with a nice cup of morning roast.
Oh, yeah.
Featuring Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky.
Well, I'm about that action, boss.
Take him out! This is the morning roast on 95.7 The Game.
Oh, baby! It's good to be back in the Bay. It's good to be back in the studio here on a Tuesday morning, a couple days after the Niners lose their season opener to the Chicago Bears, 19-10. A lot of fun football last night between Denver Broncos and Seattle Seahawks.
Thank you, Denver.
Thank you, Denver.
Thank you, Denver. You took the shine and the light away from the Niners. There is a God.
Gino.
Hey, you know what?
Gino.
I was rooting against Seattle when that game started. As the game went going on, I was rooting for Geno Smith.
How about Geno Smith? They wrote me off. I ain't right back.
So we've got to have that audio.
That was a gangster line.
When's the album come out?
Gangster line. That T-shirt's going to be printed up there in Seattle. I saw their Twitter account. Let's ride. Let's ride.
That game. Okay, there's so many things to get into. If you didn't watch the game last night, Monday Night Football, let's start here. The schedule. What are the chances that Russell Wilson is going to leave the Seattle Seahawks, and in the very first year of him leaving, it just so happens the AFC West plays the NFC West?
Like I texted you guys in the thread last night, the NFL has a WWE feel to their schedules. Because when Willard brought up Deshaun Watson coming back and that game is in Houston, I mean, come on, man.
And
what are the
Baker
odds?
Mayfield playing in Carolina
week
game one is against Cleveland.
Trey versus Justin Fields, week 1 in Chicago, Jimmy's hometown. Like, how do you make this stuff up? It happens all the time in the NFL.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Oh, that was so good.
I ain't right back. Let's go.
Give it again. I talked over it.
Wrote me off. I ain't right back, though. That's the problem. I ain't right back. Let's go.
Good for him.
That was great.
Good for him. So if you're just tapping in right now, Seattle's hosting Russell Wilson.
Right.
Okay, if you didn't watch it was insane. And the 12s were going nuts. I hate the 12s.
I hate the 12s.
Let's just call it what it is. And they're fake, pumped-in sound noise.
Are you surprised they booed Russell Wilson after everything he did up there?
I am a little surprised because Richard Sherman did a podcast where he was talking on the volume, and I like Richard Sherman's podcast. I listened to it. I think he's really good. He's got a co-host who kind of sets him up. It's a good podcast.
But I ain't forgot how Sherman left the 49ers.
No, both are true. Both are true.
No doubt.
But I like Richard Sherman, and he was like, look, the Seattle fans are going to clap him up when he first gets there, and then they'll boo him the rest of the game.
That never happened.
Right?
That never happened. He left out the tunnel. He left out the tunnel. They booed the hell out of him.
Well, it did feel like when Richard left, when Earl Thomas left, even when Marshawn left, they all left because the team was like, we're done with you. Whereas it felt like Russell Wilson left because he was done with them.
Right. Well, and there was some disconnect with him, Pete Carroll, John Schneider, the GM up there. He leaves. And look, we all agree that it was time for him to leave. It was time to just start a new chapter in Seattle Seahawk football. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bobby Wagner when he goes up to Seattle as he's playing linebacker for the LA Rams. But Denver blew opportunity after opportunity. 2 goal line stands by the Seahawks, a couple fumbles, one by Melvin Gordon, one by Javonte Williams, and, of course, the clock management at the end of the game. Baffling when you have a veteran like Russell Wilson who's walking into Canton, Ohio, and Nathaniel Hackett. How do you let 30 seconds just elapse off the clock and then say to yourself, we're going to attempt a 64-yard field goal? A 64-yard field goal to try to win the game.
Let's get right into it. So part of why Russell Wilson wanted to leave and do his own thing, this player empowerment thing. He has been talking about how he wants more ownership of the offense, B.
Right.
Here's the exact quote, and this is what Russell Wilson told Peter King. Now, B, you love hoops. I love hoops.
Yep.
This has a Kyrie vibe to it. I want you to hear it right here. It's the ownership of the players owning our offense. This has to be a player-ran kind of a thing.
Right.
Coach Hackett gives us the keys to do that. I'm thinking more partnership than coach-player. When I hear that, I snap back and I go,
oh, boy.
That reminds me of Kyrie.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Steve Nash is only here to be a partner. Like, no, there needs to be a coach. No.
He did sign the extension, $165 million guaranteed.
Are you talking about Russ?
Yeah, Russ.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's a ridiculous way of framing it. So last night, Paul Hackett's on the sideline, his first game ever. Who's making that decision?
I don't know, but here, you want to hear something funny? And look, I'm seeing the Comcast Business Text line. By the way, good morning, everybody out there getting off the graveyard shifts, getting ready for it, getting off of work. If you're at work, what is happening? Good morning to YouTube, Twitch, and the Comcast Business Text line. We will get to Kapler and Zach
that's coming.
Littall.
That's coming.
Because
when Zach Littall punks you,
yeah, this is all bad. This is all bad. But here's the Medicast on when the Broncos were letting the clock run.
They had three timeouts.
Three timeouts.
The 45?
The 45.
Okay, and there's about 50 seconds, 55 seconds.
Yeah, 55
and
seconds.
I'm in my bed. I'm leaned up, and I'm like, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Did
what
you
are they
think
doing?
Russ was going to win that game?
Yes!
I thought Russ was going to win that game.
I thought it was four down territory.
Yes,
I
no
thought
doubt.
they were going to go for it on 4th and 5.
For it.
To me, you needed at least 7 or 8 more yards.
So here's the Manningcast as it's going down, and the clock is running down. This is Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, and special guest Shannon Sharp.
I love Shannon.
Might try to draw him off sides, Z.
You don't have that much
Dummy
time.
snap count?
You don't want to waste that much time, I don't think. Running a play. And it looked unsettled. Sutton doesn't know what he's doing. Hurry up. Hurry. Time out.
What the? So you just burned 30 seconds to call a timeout?
A lot of time wasted right there to call timeout, Pate.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Because even now, if you get 5 yards, you still got 2 timeouts, but you gotta get some yardage.
They're going to kick it. They're going to kick it.
Kick what?
They're kicking right here?
Kicking the field goal right here.
Hold on.
Oh.
How far?
They're kicking
Let me see how far this is.
62-yarder. 63-yarder.
What?
64-yarder for the win. And you know what? He had the distance, right?
Yeah,
he
but
didn't have the distance.
But B, I mean, a 54-yarder, I don't even feel confident on. Like, what are we doing?
What are we doing in Seattle? Letting that clock
But
run
you
off.
just paid the guy $250 million to be your quarterback, and you're like, you know what? Let's trot the kicker out.
Dude, Nathaniel Hackett is already on the hot seat.
So should Russ, because Russ
Already.
and him are partners.
But
Here's
the players.
quote. Russ and the coach are not coach-player. This is an unnamed source telling Pete King.
Oh, my gosh, Pete King.
Yeah,
Jesus
they're
Christ.
partners.
They're partners. Partners. It's like a law firm, right? It's Shasky and Hill. They're partners. They're going to represent you.
Hey, if Shanahan did a field goal attempt
64.
after acquiring Russell Wilson and paying him $250 million,
We would lose our minds.
we would have Ned Starked him. Head on a spike.
Fired that night.
Right?
That night.
Could you imagine doing that for Eddie DeBartolo?
Nathaniel Hackett's first ever game is Hackett. Now, where did he assist? Because we know about his dad, the legendary Paul
Yeah,
Hackett,
but I
who
think
got
he's at
fired from
UC
USC.
Davis. They have UC Davis ties, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know if it's him or the dad. I forget.
I was like, when the clock is running down, and I'm sitting there.
I thought they were at least going to go for it.
I thought I was tripping.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm jet lagged. Something's up.
But everybody knows clock management. If you play video games, even at the surface level,
Right.
you understand clock management. If you, I don't know, watch the NFL and the greatest orchestra of all time, a.k.a. Peyton or Tom Brady or
Right.
any of these guys, when it gets to 2-minute time, which now it's more like a minute,
Right.
a minute marching down the field, we all can tell it takes about 7-8 seconds, give or take, for a passing play to go down the field. What were they doing?
So Nathaniel Hackett was the OC in Green Bay the last 3 years. So he's been coaching with Aaron Rodgers, who's a master when it comes to clock management. A master. We saw what happened last year, week 3 at Levi Stadium with Aaron Rodgers. And what was it, 37 seconds? They go right down the field to kick a game-winning field goal. Devontae Adams, a couple big catches there. What? I just don't. Like, that's your first ever game as a head coach, and you go down like that. And by the way, the goal line plays. Gun runs at the inch line?
Yeah.
I can't get a quarterback sneak. I can't get somebody to go over the top. You run gun runs?
Well, offensive coordinator Russell Wilson thought that was the right play.
Oh, my gosh. Russell Wilson, great debut for him in Denver. They lose to Seattle.
It was great.
Hey, look,
Judy dropped a couple balls down the stretch.
Yeah, he did. He sure did. They're a weird team. Denver, they may be on the outside looking in, man, in the AFC. I'm not sure about them. Something's weird. They don't have an identity. They don't know if they want to run the ball. They don't know if they want to pass. Not
here's the
enough Judy,
identity.
not enough Sutton.
Their identity's Russ. Russ is the coach. I'm telling you, this is the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
Russ has entered a zone where I thought the corny thing was like, he's gone way too deep into it.
No,
he was high-fiving air yesterday coming out. It's so weird.
What about him on the logo? Like, I've never seen him just started praising Jesus on the Seahawks logo.
No, it was as if God was glowing him, and like,
he's sitting there
it was
like,
weird.
Look, it's weird. The guy
And
is
I was
out of his
rooting for
mind.
Geno Smith. I can't believe I can
Yeah,
say
I
that,
know.
but
I know.
this is a guy who had
But
a really horrible situation with the Jets, and I think everybody ran him out of town.
They did run him out of town. He was they had no talent around him. He got into the fight with the defensive lineman. I like Geno. I'm a Geno fan,
I was
dude.
pulling
and
for
I thought
him.
last year he played tough behind that terrible offensive line. He goes out there and wins the job over Drew Lock. And you know what? We all watched Seattle, and we said to ourselves yesterday, Sunday's going to be a body bag game between the Niners and the Seahawks. Oh, it was physical. It was physical.
Guys were coming off left. Wooten got his collarbone broken on a basic tackle.
He smacked KJ Hamler.
I saw that.
He depleted him. They hurt his own damn shoulder.
Dude,
Seattle's flying around hitting it. That's one thing we know about Pete Carroll teams. I can't stand him chewing the gum. I can't stand him walking up and down the sidelines. Oh, on the goal line stand when he jumped up and down, or when they won the game.
It's such a Cialis commercial when they show it in slow motion. He's like, yeah!
There were so many people happy for Seattle. Richard Sherman, Doug Baldwin, subtweeting. I don't know what Russ did to make everybody hate them up there, but I'm on to Seattle, and we're going to break down the Niners game a little bit more. I got a couple questions about Trey Lance.
Before we turn the page to Pete Carroll,
we have Baldy. And we got Baldy at 7:30. And Baldy's tweeting out stuff because there's some people out there who think that, listen, I'll say this. If Jimmy Garoppolo played that game and he lost, he would have get crushed. Deservedly so. He's been in the league since 2014. We expect him to win that game. But does he make the throws with Ray McCloud and Juwan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk or whatnot? I don't know if he does. I don't know. So this whole thing that, Jimmy this and Jimmy that, we're going to break down with Baldy what he saw from Trey Lance. And Baldy's going to explain to everybody what he liked and what he didn't like from Trey Lance and what he needs to work on. That's going to be a lot of fun because I got a question to the audience and I got a question to you, Shasky. After watching that game yesterday or Sunday, do you have more faith in Trey Lance being the franchise quarterback of this football team? Or are you putting everything on pause for a second? Are you in wait-and-see mode with Trey? Because a lot of people are in wait-and-see mode with Trey Lance.
I think we were kind of already in wait-and-see mode in the sense of, like, he's got to prove it. He's got to earn it. So if you're still in wait-and-see mode, I get that. Look, I think he's going to be good. I don't know when he's going to be really, really, really good for this team, but I think he's going to be good. There are things that happen that you can't foresee. He could get hurt. They could fire Shanahan. The weapons around him could depreciate. Things happen, right? Like, there's no givens in sports. I like the skill set that he has as a prospect. I like the mental makeup that the kid has. And I think there's some flashes that I saw in that game that are transferable moving forward. But he's still got to put in the work and he's got to put in the tape. Now, your point on Jimmy Garoppolo is a good one. And I want to make sure that we pause here for a second. Trey was in his third game. Jimmy Garoppolo's in his 10th season.
Yep.
Okay, we expect more from someone in their 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th season than we do in their third game.
And we expect something from a guy who's getting paid $137.5 million. Let's just be honest.
No,
$137.5 million. Patriot system, Niner system. He's been in the league for a long time. So, hell yeah, we would have crushed him if he lost that game.
And not only that, I do believe, and this is why I do love the rookie wage scale that they've put in. When you're one of the highest paid players on the team, you're going to get more criticism. We never criticized Trent Williams. I thought he had a down game.
Trent Williams not good.
When you're going to be paid one of the highest tackles in the league, I expect you to be absolute stout almost all year. You're maybe allowed a couple of bad games, but that one against the Bears, I need you to be the dude. In the kid's first game on the road in a monsoon.
So there's a couple
For example, I'm just using that as an example.
No doubt.
Trey's on a rookie wage scale. I'm not expecting him to carry the team.
650 Comcast Business Text Line. Trey impressed me on Sunday. He was battling out there. A lot of guys would be terrible in that weather.
Him on that.
He didn't look terrible.
He didn't
I agree
fold.
with that.
He didn't fold
at all. He didn't fold at all. Now, I'm looking at Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm thinking back to the offensive lines that he played with, especially in 2020, right? 2020, the offensive line was suspect.
No, it was
Very
bad.
suspect.
I would say it was bad.
Jimmy was getting killed.
Yes.
Jimmy was getting killed. That offensive line on Sunday, we just mentioned Trent Williams. We saw Mike McGlinchey. We saw Aaron Banks just miss blocks in a run game and a pass game. How does Jimmy perform behind that offensive line? Because if you want to get the ball out quick on those slant routes, Chicago was dropping 7 defenders in the pass coverage. They did not blitz once. What is Jimmy going to do? What is Jimmy going to do behind that offensive line?
Look, there's an element of the 49ers brought this on themselves by bringing Jimmy back. Like, I get that. But shame on all of us. Fans, the media, everyone. Shame on us. We're going to be patient with Trey. We couldn't wait 2 drives.
No, we couldn't.
2 drives.
Everybody's
in a monsoon.
Well, not only that, but I'm hearing a lot of people say, you got to hit that throw to Croft, right? Well, we act like Jimmy never missed throws.
I mean, come on.
I watched Jimmy with my own 2 eyes in the NFC Championship game. Mitch George Kittle wide open. Wide open. But yet the narrative is he led the Niners to 2 NFC Championship games. What about the throw to Kyle Juszczyk on Christmas Eve in Tennessee? What about the throw to Brandon Ayuk down in Dallas in an NFC wildcard game? Oh, wait, his shoulder gave out. We make all these excuses for a veteran quarterback. And again, I like Jimmy. But Trey's first game, being there and then watching it back, I was impressed. I was very impressed. The guts to make the throw to Ray McCloud over the linebacker and in front of the safety Shasky. Jimmy hasn't made that throw in a very long time. A very long time. I got a lot of hope for Trey Lance after watching that game back on Sunday.
The problem that I have with it is that Bill Simmons, Kevin Clark from The Ringer, Kevin Clark looks like he's never played sports in his life, so I'm not listening to anything he says. Neither does Bill Simmons, but I'm listening to all these people who casually watch the Niners nationally, and they're framing this narrative around the kid.
They are.
And they're framing this narrative around Jimmy Garoppolo that's inaccurate. And Colin Cowherd, for example, yesterday was going on this long diatribe about Trey, and he used this phrase, and Bill Simmons did the same thing. Essentially, this is what they said. Aaron Rodgers was outplayed last year in a playoff game by Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, Aaron Rodgers didn't have a great game in that game. But and I don't expect the national media to watch all of our local games. But when it's a playoff game, when it's a Saturday standalone playoff game.
On a Saturday night.
Don't insult my intelligence.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers had a bad game. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't score an offensive touchdown in that game.
Jimmy Garoppolo
and look,
terrible.
I'm crediting the Green Bay Packers, but to say that Jimmy Garoppolo outplayed Aaron Rodgers in that game, then you didn't watch that game.
No, it's
that was a
laughable.
Defensive struggle where the Niners special teams came through with one of the greatest moments in 49ers special teams history.
2 moments. 2 moments. The block field goal right before halftime. At cover, making up for Jimmy Garoppolo's inexplicit interception on a first down in the red zone. And, of course, the block punt by Jordan Willis, and, of course, Hufanga picks it up.
There's this false equivalation where people are saying, well, Jimmy led them X, Y, and Z, and Trey didn't. And just the whole thing is, honestly, it's exhausting.
He outplayed Aaron Rodgers.
Exhausting.
Here you go. Aaron Rodgers, 20 of 29, 225 yards in that game.
Okay.
All right. Aaron Jones,
that's
9
Aaron
catches.
Rodgers.
This is Aaron Rodgers. Jimmy Garoppolo, 11 of 19, 131 yards, 1 interception. His quarterback rating, since everybody loves ratings, his quarterback rating was 57. QBR was 14.7. All right? That was Jimmy Garoppolo's numbers in the second round of the playoffs. But don't give me this sting. That's why I don't listen to these guys.
No, but this is my point.
You can't lie to me and say he's outplayed Aaron Rodgers in the playoff game.
I agree. And look, I'm not trying to take anything away from Jimmy. I loved what Jimmy did for this organization.
Right.
I feel like the time to turn the page was appropriate.
Right.
They went up and they drafted a guy, and this is part of taking the lumps to get to the next level for the kid that you're hoping can happen. But shame on us, myself included, shame on all of us for not, after saying we would be patient, after saying we would give the kid the runway, shame on us for instantly pivoting and getting furious after one game.
Yeah,
now, when you lose to the Bears, you open this up.
Yeah, but I'm furious about other things, not Trey Lance. What I'm furious about is the defense. What I'm furious about is Dre Greenlaw.
See, I'm with you.
What I'm furious about is the offensive line not stepping up and protecting.
Running backs getting hurt.
Running backs getting hurt.
Again in week one.
Again. I'm furious about the lack of touches for Brandon Ayuk. Who's that on? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not furious at Trey Lance. You go back and watch the game, and people are going to look at the 13-28 and say, oh, he missed out on 15 passes. Go look at the fourth quarter. It was awful. Fourth quarter was awful. Throw the tape away. Up until that point, Trey Lance did what he had to do to keep them in that game. They were 6-12 on third down before he throws a pick to Eddie Jackson, the one interceptable ball. How many times did we say, I've been out here since 2017, Jackson said, Jimmy Garoppolo, you got to live with it, but there's going to be 3 to 5 throws a game where you say, oh no, did Jimmy throw his reared its ugly head. Trey threw one. All right, now we'll see what happens in Seattle. But this narrative that everybody, it's the same thing that happens with the Warriors. Narratives, right? Oh, man, Jordan Poole's not going to be happy coming off the bench. Oh, no. Oh, man, Klay Thompson. Hey, everybody's got their own agendas on the Golden State Warriors. They just went out there and won a championship. They won a championship and said, shut up, everybody. It's about a team here, and it's about hanging banners. But narratives, the narrative-driven radio drives me insane because it tells me You don't know what you're watching.
Or you're not watching at all. That's the other thing. But this is what happens when you lose a game the way they did, right?
Yep.
When you lose, you open up the criticism, and then the vultures come flying in, and they're going to try to pick at the carcass. So I'm frustrated because the team lost, and they underperformed, and I think they have to wear it. But they're not the only team. Look, Denver should have beaten Seattle last night. Russ is a Hall of Fame quarterback. They had perfect conditions last night, and they botched multiple situations and botched a ton of opportunities. Aaron Rodgers lost to his rival, the Minnesota Vikings, and looked completely overwhelmed and threw all his young players under the bus. It's a first ballot Hall of Famer, all right? So just look around the league. The Niners are not the exclusive team that laid an egg on Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well said, Shasky. Bowl and Trevor will get to you on the other side. We will take your calls, 888-957-9570. And what I have here is brought to you by BMW Fairfield. BMW Fairfield, now open in the Fairfield Auto Mall. They provide a luxurious, all-encompassing experience to address all of your BMW needs. Visit BMWFairfield.com today to book your visit. That's BMWFairfield.com.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake replacements, oil changes, washes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
Gorgeous gaming, stunning streams, unbelievable bandwidth. It's another Lifestyles of Gagillionaires. Meet the AT&T Fiber customers winning at life with hyper gig speeds. Meet Gagillionaire Terry. While his love of streaming horror movies has him constantly on the edge of his seat, his internet bill won't give him a scare.
Oh, don't go in there. I'm telling you.
Because since Terry upgraded to AT&T Fiber with hyper gig speeds, he doesn't worry about data caps or equipment fees.
Come on, man. The door's open for a reason.
And best yet, he also doesn't stress about a price increase at 12 months, because with the amazing Gagillionaire lifestyle comes an exquisite sense of tranquility. Most of the time. Live like a Gagillionaire. Get straightforward pricing with AT&T Fiber. Internet that upgrades everything. No data caps, no equipment fees, and no price increase at 12 months.
Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
Okay, you know those amazing spots only the true San Francisco locals are in on? Like that place with the square pizzas? Or Mama Hoo-Hoo? The spot for sweet and sour chicken that's anything but so-so. Order up! You know, with the Granch dressing. And all the other spots the real SF locals know without us even saying them. Yeah, they're on DoorDash. San Francisco gets it. DoorDash has it.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you may be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to GetRefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com. That's GetRefunds.com.
Okay, so how crazy high are these gas prices right now, right? I mean, I filled up my car the other day and I thought for that price, I could buy a couple of pairs of Skechers and pretty much walk everywhere. I was kind of joking, but I kind of wasn't joking. Because with how affordable Skechers are, you really could buy 2 pairs for about the same price as filling up a lot of vehicles. Get it? Plus, unlike gas, not only are they affordable, they also last a really long time. Skechers are extremely durable and many of them are machine washable. You can keep them looking newer, longer. And they're so comfortable, that's the most important thing. Once people put on a pair of Skechers, they never want to wear anything else. With comfort features like Skechers' famous air-cooled memory foam, Relax Fit, Wide Fit, Arch Fit, so many other fits and features, it's almost like they're luxury vehicles for your feet, without the luxury price tag. So if you're tired, really tired of paying outrageous prices at the pump, which everybody is, just get yourself a pair or 2 of Skechers. Your wallet will thank you. So find your perfect pair of Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Have you considered walking through another door? I don't mean to pursue another opportunity, but upgrading a door in your home. Now, if you are in fact looking for another opportunity, Golden State Window and Door can provide you with plenty. You can create renewed function and design for use indoors and out. You'll find modern options like Marvin's Elevate In-Swing French Door, Barn Doors by Trustyle, or Anderson Big Doors that welcome in natural light. Golden State Window and Door features a variety of materials, sizes, and glass options. You can get inspired by the many possibilities when you visit goldenstatelumber.com. Click on virtual tours and you'll discover beautifully planned displays of doors and windows of all kinds that will spark your imagination. Then, talk with our builder or designer to see what might be a good fit for your home. Serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
On the south side, we got 6 poly panels. And please, make sure they're flush.
Kwame is converting everyone on the block to solar power.
Please get a crew to wrap up 202 South Duane.
He needs more certified installers before the sun sets on his business boom.
Let's pick up the pace. We got a long day.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pick up the poopy.
This is Stephen Curry, and you're listening to The Morning Roast with Bonte and The Butcher on 95.7 The Game.
Were you walking the dog? Pick up the poopy.
No, Willard was texting us. What was that? I think you were out that day, Thursday. I don't know what I was talking about. I don't know what I was saying yesterday. But Willard was texting. I was like, man, continue to walk the dog. Don't forget to pick up the poopy. Something about the Giants? Probably. Yeah. Pick up the poopy.
Okay, so here...
So do you want to go to Giants or are we going to go Calls or what do you got? What do you got in your mind?
Well, there's a couple of things. I do want to get into Deebo Samuel in a second, but here's an interesting one from the 925 because I heard this a lot yesterday. And it's not just at this station. I think I saw this a lot online. Being real. You honestly can't expect this team to go to the Super Bowl. That's why people are impatient. The whole offseason we talked about how stacked they are and Lance could win it all from the 925. I think most reasonable fans know that there are levels to talking about championships.
Right.
When you're an established champion, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, you throw the SB word around, Super Bowl. When you're Steph Curry, we talk about championships because he's already won them. When we're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo and when we're talking about Trey Lance, either one of them, it's make the playoffs first. Put yourself in a position to try to host a playoff game. So anybody that put this SB word out there, Super Bowl, because I don't know you. I know you didn't. I know I didn't.
Yeah, nobody did.
It was make the playoffs.
We said they had a Super Bowl roster. However, I was telling Sam Lovey this morning. When we look at the evaluation of this football team, and I started seeing hey, they have the best linebacker core in football. Well, I didn't see that on Sunday. I saw the best linebacker core in Tampa Bay. Drake Greenlaw, Al Shire did not play well at all.
No, but they have potential
they
to
have
be
potential.
a top couple of
maybe
3, 4,
top 5 unit.
Okay.
Maybe top 5 unit, but I didn't see that on Sunday.
Well, it looked like two guys that were playing for a contract doing too much. But that's what it felt like to me.
But we also said all off season. I've been on this all off season. And every single year when I look at football teams, I say, okay, what does the offensive line look like? The offensive line, we've highlighted as a position group that needs to play a lot better. They're a position group.
I agree with that.
That is the flaw of this team. They're the weak link of this team. There's no doubt about that. Some people may say secondary. Thought the secondary was fine on Sunday. Thought they were fine. They blew a couple coverages. For the most part, the secondary was fine. Offensive line is going to be something we look at because they determine the run game.
Mm-hmm.
They dictate the run game, how well you run the ball. Now, Elijah Mitchell did run the ball well behind that offensive line. Jeff Wilson Jr. showed no juice. That's why we're probably going to see a lot more Jordan Mason this week. And you may have to call somebody and bring in the play running back as well. But the offensive line is not a Super Bowl caliber offensive line, which is what made us pump the brakes on calling this team a Super Bowl team.
Well, Kansas City has had one of the best teams in football for 4 straight years.
Yep.
They've been as far as you can go, essentially, for 4 straight years. They've got the best quarterback in the game, and they've won 1 Super Bowl.
1 Super Bowl.
All right? It's hard to win championships, and anyone that throws the Super Bowl word around, the finals word, the World Series word around flippantly, well, they're naive to how difficult it is to complete the task. The 49ers fielded one of the greatest rosters I've ever seen in 2011 and 2012.
Yep.
And they didn't win a Super Bowl.
Didn't win a Super Bowl.
And then in 2013, they rolled it back and had a great year, even though Willis missed a lot of time.
3 straight NFC championships,
They were
though.
a great team. How difficult. The Bulls got to bounce in your favor, and you got to be a great team.
How about Seattle only winning 1 Super Bowl with that great defense?
It feels like they underachieved.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
To my point, outside of Belichick and Brady, so few teams have an opportunity to win it all. Now, we can say Super Bowl caliber roster, and what we mean by that is getting to the second round. Because once you get to the second round of the playoffs, everybody's got a Super Bowl caliber roster, because then you just got to win a couple of games.
Right.
But it's so difficult to get to that point. Think of last year. Arizona was the best team in football for 2 months.
Yep.
And it just imploded on them. I don't
Injuries,
think people
everything.
realize that, and a lot of people that just talk about the Super Bowl, you can't win a Super Bowl. It's so incredibly difficult, even when you have a Josh Allen, even when you have a Patrick Mahomes, to even win your division.
Yep.
So anybody that's saying the SB word, just because you have a caliber roster that can win and get the playoffs, last year, the Niners had to fight tooth and nail and have their wide back throw a pass in Week 18 to qualify for the playoffs.
Right, exactly. Down 17-0. Down 17-0.
To qualify for the playoffs.
Yep.
And then they had to go on the road, win in Dallas, go on the road, win in Green Bay, and then go on the road and
win in
lose
LA.
in the fourth quarter to the LA Rams. So the point that I'm getting at is that you need to be more discerning as a listener if you're listening to people that are flippantly throwing around the SB word.
And to that point, you could go back in the day to those great Charger teams. Low Deal will tell you, LaDainian Tomlinson, Phillip Rivers, whether or not they had Drew Brees, they had talent defensively, offensively. They got the one AFC championship game. Just one. They lost in the divisional round over and over and over again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And they had Super Bowl talent. The Jets had one of the best defenses of the 2010 or the 2000s. 2 AFC championships. That's it. So this Super Bowl thing, the Bengals last year, did anybody think they were a Super Bowl caliber team going into the playoffs? No, they damn near lost to the Raiders in the wild card game. I mean, Derek Carr had the ball with a chance to win the freaking game.
Bonte, what about the team that won it all, the LA Rams? You were talking about in the middle of the season, but you're not alone.
Yeah, no.
Everyone was like, they look horrible.
They didn't win a game in November. A game. Nobody thought the Rams were going down to Tampa Bay to beat Tom Brady. They went down to Tampa Bay and beat Tom Brady. Nobody thought that was happening. Nobody.
And if you just look at Shanahan's, his run with the Niners when they've had good teams, it's still a slow build-up.
Right.
Even in 2019 when they went, quote-unquote, undefeated for 9 or 10 games or whatever it was, there were some barn burners. I mean, those were not clean games. So I'm okay with seeing this thing build itself up. I didn't like the loss. I'm not here to pretend. It was a horrible loss.
They dominated the game for 2.5 quarters. But when you let a bad team hang around a football game, you let them hang around, those things happen. Look last night in Denver. They turned the ball over, 3 times? 2 fumbles inside the 1 yard line?
Yeah.
You're going to lose football games like that.
And then your Hall of Fame quarterback and your brand new head coach decided to burn a bunch of time. Right. This is someone who's probably one of the best in the league when it comes to clock management.
Right.
And Russell Wilson looked like he's never done that before.
No doubt about
How
that.
bad was that?
No doubt about that.
And that's a guy who's won a Super Bowl, who's been in the league for 10 years.
So apparently Chris Sims says some things, and I'm going to play that a little bit later. But let's take a couple calls real quick before the break. Let's go to Mole in Detroit. He's been on hold for a while. Then we'll get to Trevor up in San Rafael. Mole, what's happening? You're on the roast here on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call, man. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
So I'm from Detroit, and I just wanted to give you my perspective. I've been a Niner fan my whole life, and the only thing I had for a long time was watching the national media because I don't have the luxury back then when I was younger with the apps that they have now with Odyssey, which I listen to you guys on every day.
Thank you very much.
Hear things. No, I really mean that. I'm not just saying that. And I'll tell you, I'm done with the national media. These guys are a bunch of buffoons and idiots.
They are.
An article that came out by Mike Martz, Ryan Clark. I can't stand him. Rex Ryan. There's the most impulsive, wishy-washy people. One day they tell you the guy's the greatest player. The following week they're bashing him. They just don't know how to stick to their guns. Their messaging is off. They just go with what's hot. I mean, they're just the most miserable people to listen to. For my health, I listen to you guys because it's the best thing for me. You guys give it real. You guys tell it how it is. I was at that game. Chicago's only 4 hours from Detroit. And just to watch Trey Lance, I'll tell you, he is the real deal. These people don't know what they're talking about. You got to give the kids some time.
Mo, let me ask you real quick, Mo, what made you think he was the real deal? Explain to our audience, what made you think he was the real deal at Soldier Field?
You could tell by his poise. He stands in the pocket. He doesn't put his head down. He's rallying the troops. I think when the cameras go away, I've seen him giving all the players high five on the sideline. Offensive line giving him props. Debo, he went right up to him when he fumbled. I mean, there was things that you could see that weren't shown on TV. I was in section 105 under the overhang, so I didn't get rained on.
Oh, man, you're right next to me.
By the way.
Yeah, you're right next to me. I was at 106. I was at 106.
Oh, the best seats, man. They were perfect.
They were perfect. Mo, great call, man. Call us back. We really appreciate you listening on the Odyssey app. That's really cool. I want to get into that. I know you got thoughts on Debo Samuel, but I think we have overlooked. He brought up something, the P word, poise.
Yeah.
This young man never looked rattled. He never looked rattled on Sunday, and nobody's pointing that out. So let's get into that. Let's get into Debo. We're going to take Trevor on the other side. At some point, we will get to what happened last night at Oracle Park between Gabe Kapler and Zach Littall. Who the hell does Zach Littall think he is? Honestly, Zach Littall, really? Really? Take your 5-point whatever ERA and take your ass out of town. Seriously. Zach Littall is going to pull that stunt?
I got so many thoughts on that.
Zach Littall. This segment was presented by Golden State Lumber. Lumber and building materials for professional builders and contractors throughout Northern California. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com. 888-957-9570. We'll take your calls on the other side. Sponsored by Fremont Bank. Full service banking. No compromises.
It's the bottom of the ninth, the game's on the line, and your small business needs a loan fast. What's your move? Go to OnDeck.com, America's largest online small business lender. With OnDeck, you can apply in minutes, and if approved, get your funds as soon as the same day. Go to OnDeck.com. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah Chartered Industrial Bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep. We have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 9/21/22. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports.
Live on DAZN pay-per-view, September 17th, Part 3. Canelo versus Triple G to take the trilogy. Bad blood, a score to settle, controversy, brutality, pure hostility. For victory, for history, for the trilogy. Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin. September 17th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Visit DAZN.com.
At Left Coast Buyers, we buy properties all over California. If you own a house or an apartment building and want to sell it fast at a great price, call us at 925-434-5000. We can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. We buy properties in any condition, any price range. Do you own a property that is run down and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Are you out of time, money, and energy? Are you looking for an easy way to get top dollar for your property and sell on your terms and timeline? Well, call Left Coast Buyers now at 925-434-5000. We buy divorce houses, inherited houses. We even buy vacant houses and abandoned houses. Do you have a tenant who hasn't paid? Are you behind on property taxes, mortgage payments, or even facing a foreclosure? Even if you're just nervous about capital gains or an upcoming recession, we've seen it all. So if you or someone you know owns a property and needs to sell, call Left Coast Buyers at 925-434-5000. That's 925-434-5000.
Now, local businesses can get closer to every customer in their city with fast, affordable shipping. Introducing USPS Connect Local. You want speed? We deliver same or next day. You want savings? We give you supplies at a flat rate. You want less legwork? We do free pickups. Move your local business forward with the United States Postal Service. Let's connect at USPSConnect.com/local. Specific markets, restrictions apply. Same day or next day delivery expected, but not guaranteed with entry close to final destination.
A hot shower should be hot. A Navien tankless water heater makes sure your hot shower is hot or warm or mostly hot, but not quite hot, but warmer than warm. Whether you take it in the morning, after work, doesn't matter. Do you want a quick rinse or a full-on luxurious, I think I'm in heaven spa-length investment of time? Your choice whenever you want it. A Navien tankless water heater keeps your hot water hot. Backed up by Navien's powerful warranty. Get the hot water you need whenever you need it, period. At tanklessmadesimple.com.
At Churches, we put it all on the table for less. Get 10-piece legs and thighs, 2 large size, 5 honey butter biscuits, and 5 jalapeno peppers starting at just $20. Churches Texas Chicken. Welcome to the great state of flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Breaking news on 95.7 The Game is brought to you by Beat the Street. For tips to win a $5.6 million prize. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh my God!
This is Steve Kerr, and you're listening to the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
Warriors start training camp in 9 days.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. 9 days. The Chaps are back, baby. The Chaps are back. Remember all the people who doubted the Chaps? Remember that? Panic meter and stuff like that? The Chaps are back, baby. 9 days. Can't wait for the Dubs to be back on the floor.
I want to get into Debo in a minute, but we were just talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, everybody going back and forth. And I know that there's a specific quote from Chris Sims that you want to read right now regarding the quarterback situation that I find almost laughable. And again, this goes back to the misinterpretation of what happened years ago.
Right.
I will remind you in a second. Why don't you read the Chris Sims quote, and then,
I'm not even going to read it. We're going to play the sound from the Chris Sims podcast.
Because I have some stats I want to back this up with.
I do agree with him. Now, I'm not going to say, you said it right before we got in this game. Let's not overjudge it. It was a fucking monsoon, okay? And he's still young and raw. But to the point of Durr, okay? Durrs makes some good points, and they are a Super Bowl football team. Look at you, got you giggling now. They are a Super Bowl football team. And to do justice to your organization, your fan base, and more importantly to your football team, the guys in the locker room, you got to play the best players. And I think there's guys, I've heard through the grapevine, there's guys in that locker room that go, Jimmy G's the best player. I mean, I know.
He's proven it. How would you say differently right now?
And I don't want to call people out here, but I've heard from people that I know around the NFL that go, yeah, there's some prominent people in the 49ers locker room that go, Jimmy Garoppolo's better.
Well, wait a minute. Did they directly reach out to you? Because that's what you said first, Chris Sims, that they directly reached out to you. Then you said, prominent people who have heard from other people. So to me, that's okay. We could split hairs on
I'm in for Reed. He's proven that he's better. But again, did we not and I'm not here to crush Jimmy Garoppolo.
No.
Again, I've said this over and over. Jimmy Garoppolo's a damn good 49er.
Yeah, but the context.
He's a damn good 49er.
I get frustrated with the context.
Right. We've seen it over the last 2 years. He's regressed as a quarterback. And it was obvious that Kyle Shanahan did not trust him. Availability, what did they say, is your best ability. He wasn't available for key stretches for the 49ers in 2018 and 2020. Those are the facts. They won in spite of Jimmy in those playoff games. I was there with my own two eyes in Jerry's world.
He won games too, though.
Right.
Like not to take anything away from him. And I know that's not what you're doing.
The LA game in Week 18 was special.
He was awesome.
It was special, right? But then there's also the Tennessee game on Christmas Eve where it's I swear that night was incredible because I remember texting people. I said, man, did you see Steph Curry? He dropped 46. Nobody wanted to watch the Warriors game.
No.
Because of how Jimmy played that Tennessee game. They were like, I gotta take it off. And all of a sudden, what's fascinating to me, it's fascinating that all of a sudden, Jimmy G's getting all these props. He didn't get this many props in 2019. The same people who are propping him up, are saying, oh, Jimmy this. Oh, they couldn't throw the ball with Jimmy. They had to run the ball so many times. He only threw the ball 8 times because they didn't trust Jimmy. Oh, he threw up on himself in Minnesota and Shanahan had to take the ball out of his hands. I defended Jimmy that year. I defended him. But who gets to play for Super Bowl 54? Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, that's never been fair. And you and I agree with that.
It hasn't been fair.
It has never been fair.
But that's been the national narrative.
No, I know.
Listen, and they all fixated on that one throw. Oh, you should have made that throw to Emmanuel Sanders.
Which is what we're doing to Trey today, which is funny.
We're
about
overdoing
Croft.
Tyler Croft. But then he made up for it by throwing a dime to Ray McLeod.
It's never
and a
one
dime
play.
to Joanne. It's never one play.
It's never
one play at all. But the fact that all of a sudden Jimmy is getting all these props now is fascinating to me, Shasky. I just where did it come from?
Let's go back to 2019. The Niners famously started 8-0. They started 8-0 that year.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any idea of what Jimmy's numbers were through the first? I'm going to use the first 6 games because Peter King said week 7 Jimmy's going to take over this year.
So I remember who they beat. They beat the first 2 games. They beat Cincinnati.
Tampa Bay was week 1.
Was week 1, and Jimmy threw a pick. Remember Shanahan?
I'll give you all the numbers.
Shanahan ripped him, right?
Yeah.
Ripped him. They had 2 pick sixes in that game against Jameis Winston. All right, 2 pick sixes. Defense won that game. Cincinnati. He threw a pick 6. Remember, he threw it in quadruple coverage, and then Shanahan said, we're going to run the ball the next possession and take this game back over. All right, Pittsburgh, 5 turnovers. Home opener, 5 turnovers, right? 5 turnovers. Didn't play that great, but it wasn't all his fault. They beat, was Washington part of that stretch?
Yes, but Cleveland at home, Monday Nighter, Rams, then Washington.
All right.
So I'm going to give you the numbers.
Hold on. I'm just going to Cleveland first played a game. Matt Breida goes 80 yards. They dominated that game because of the defense. Bosa was outstanding. Baker threw up on himself.
And Jimmy was good.
Jimmy was good. And then, who you say, the L.A. Rams?
Yes, where they went down to L.A.
The stats weren't pretty that game.
No, he threw in a red zone pick, actually.
Yeah, I
in
remember
game.
that.
And then people lost their minds.
Right.
And then, obviously, they ended up playing Washington. They beat them 9-0.
In the monsoon
just
game.
through 6 games of 2019, through 6 games, they were 6-0. 6-0. He was 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 6 fumbles.
Wow.
Now, if I told you, hey, Trey Lance starts off 5-1, and those are his numbers,
they would say bench Trey
in a heartbeat. Now the situations are different now, but I just think I wanted to clarify just the narratives around things because you've referenced what happened in the playoffs last year, and we do this thing where we associate quarterback wins with the quarterback when there's other parts of it. Is it a skill? I do believe winning is a skill. I don't want to take away that from Jimmy Garoppolo. It's part of the learning process. Josh Allen has talked about it. I had to learn how to win games. There's a management. There's a composure that you have to have. There's checking into the right run or throw or whatever. There's putting your team in a position to win. That is a skill. But there's also the nuance of touchdowns and turnovers. And when you have 7 touchdowns and 12 turnovers through 6 games and your team's 6-0, like, again, that's what Jimmy Garoppolo did through 2019. But the way we talk about him now, you'd think he's Tom Brady.
It's really surreal. It's surreal how we talk about him. It's surreal. And can we wrap our eyes around Trey and see what it is?
It's
how
unfair.
come we can't be patient?
It's unfair.
If I read you Ben Roethlisberger's numbers, because I've done this before. Ben Roethlisberger's first year when the Pittsburgh Steelers advanced to the AFC Championship game, they were led by a running game and defense. A running game and defense. I believe he threw over 200 yards just on the top of the head, maybe twice that year. Maybe twice. They even let him throw the ball. They even let him throw the ball. He was throwing the ball 19 times, 20 times, 18 times. It was fascinating. Let's get to Trevor and San Rafael.
Yeah, and
then I'll cite these numbers here.
Okay.
Trevor, what's going on? You're on the Morning Roast.
Yeah, hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Obviously disappointed with the Week 1 results, but I think everyone's overreacting. I'm not that type. I'm a realist. I'm psyched for this week against Seattle. I'm going to the game with my buddy. But I honestly feel that the Week 1 outing, the blame lies on the coaching staff and Shanahan. I mean, 12 penalties for 99 yards. That's just unacceptable. That just shows that the team was unprepared for Week 1. They weren't ready. And I think the fact that we have Lance, who's obviously untested, and the rookie, I feel a lot of that pressure should have been alleviated by our good defense.
100%.
Our good defense was giving up most of those penalties, allowing the Bears to stay on the field.
100%.
Gave up 19 straight points, second half.
And so, look, I'm glad you're bringing this up. And this to me is the biggest issue. And look, I think everyone needs to take a deep breath. Why were the Niners good last year? Just like if you were to a couple of bullet points. Deebo Samuel was unbelievable.
Deebo was
okay, now that's just one of the many guys. I paid Deebo Samuel after he held out this year and wanted to be traded $25 million in guarantees for this year. Okay? And he got less touches than Jeff Wilson Jr. in the second half of a must-win game. Like, as mad as I am with Deebo fumbling, that's on Kyle. Kyle, find a way. I don't care if it's week 1, week 10, week 17. You get the ball to your best playmakers. And if I were to hierarchy rank who the best playmaker, Jeff Wilson Jr. is like 9th on my list.
Well, Jeff Wilson Jr.'s night. Jawan Jennings got 6 targets. Now, Jawan Jennings had a fine game. But how does Brandon Ayuk walk off that football field with 2 official targets? We know about the offensive pass interference.
100% agree.
If that phantom flag is picked up, that means 3 targets for Brandon Ayuk, 3 catches.
That's not enough.
That's not enough for Brandon Ayuk.
Even though the conditions were wet and rainy, can I see a smoke screen for him?
Not the first 2.
Well,
the
Trey
first
did
play,
skip a couple smoke screens.
The first play of the game, they gave a jet sweep to Brandon Ayuk, and he picks up 9. And he looks spry. I'm like, wow, this guy looks fast.
I know.
Looks quick.
He made a really nice catch in the fourth or late third quarter, early fourth quarter on that little, like, it was a third down or a second down pass, and he got it right up into to a first down marker.
So Ben Roethlisberger, he's walking into the Hall of Fame, right? Pittsburgh was in win now mode under Bill Cowher. Win now mode back in 2004. Pittsburgh Steelers are Super Bowl contenders basically for like a good 15-year stretch. Ben Roethlisberger threw for over 200 yards 4 times that season. He ended up being 13-0 with that team. Why? Strong defense, strong running game. He had a lot of games. 176 yards, 163 yards, 174 yards. And Pittsburgh's always on national TV, so we saw those games. He threw 17 touchdown passes and 11 picks. 17 touchdown passes and 11 picks. He threw the ball over the most attempts he had that year, Shasky.
24.
28.
28.
He had a bunch of 18,
and
16,
how many?
17, and they go 13-0.
And how many passes did Trey drop back to attempt in this game?
28, but really it was late, so it was.
But still,
they wanted to keep it around 22, 24.
That goes to show you
28.
That's too many.
That's too many,
especially given how good we expect this defense to be. And that's the other misnomer about yesterday's game.
I would love for people to go back and look at Steve Young at Tampa Bay. Go look at his game.
He got pummeled.
You know what I'm saying?
But
go back
people
and look
think
at
that
Joe
this
Montana.
roster is better. That's the problem. Is they expect this right, and that's where I would say I thought the roster. Look, the quarterback wasn't great, but I thought that the roster didn't do them any services. And anybody says that they dominated defensively, they did for a quarter and a half.
Right.
Watch the rest of the game. The Bears marched down, should have had a field goal attempt before the end of half, and then couldn't tackle in the second half. Go back and watch. It was, now, granted, the interception gave them short field position.
Right.
But the 49ers defense was blowing coverages and having drive stalling tackles ended because penalties would extend drives.
Here's the deal. This defense is so great. It's 13-10. Yeah, you throw the pick. Could you pick up Trey the offense and hold him to a field goal?
Well, they let him waltz in for a touchdown right there. 24 Herbert.
Yeah.
No one touched him. They were running it right down their throats.
13-10. Can you get a stop and make it a 16-10 game? You are still in the football game. You're still in the football game. The defense let me down on Sunday. The defense. We should be talking more about that because the missed tackles, the penalties, the blown coverages, that was bad. That was bad, Shasky.
Well, and I'm going to go right to my guy. And, I love the dude. Nick Bosa, I thought it was an underwhelming Bosa game.
There's a lot of possessions where Nick Bosa starts off on the pitch. I need to play it first, second, or third down.
I didn't even pick up on that.
It happens. They rotate their defensive linemen a lot.
A little too much for my liking.
I need Nick Bosa playing all the snaps.
Armstead's a very high-paid player for this team, and he was excellent in the playoffs. But, again, I look at the roster, and that's why we were so critical about Jimmy.
Right.
Jimmy was making the most amount on the team by twice as much early on, and now it's tapered off because other guys are highly paid. Debo's a high-paid player. Armstead's a high-paid player. Bosa will be at some point. All these guys, Jimmy Ward wasn't playing. Kittle wasn't playing. Trent Williams is. How many of those guys had good games?
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
Not a lot. Not a lot. Your premium players. Armstead was invisible. Hell, this jersey looked clean after the game. It looked clean. Let's go to Rob and say, Bruno. Rob, what's happening? You're on the roast.
What's going on, fellas? Look, man, this is crazy. I've never seen the media trying to get a starting quarterback a job so fast.
It's nuts.
They're playing with these people's minds. The media is a powerful thing, and they putting this false narrative out there like us 49. I said Vontae.
Yep.
I was saying this in 2019 when y'all were calling me crazy. I told you he wasn't that dude, right?
Yep.
I said that.
Yep.
And the film proves it. The film proves it. Like, why would... It's like they trying to get this guy a job.
Yeah.
Like, if Trey ain't that dude, why do you feel Jimmy going to come in and get the best out of this roster where he's proven he can't? There's receivers on this team right now who don't like Jimmy Garoppolo playing. I can tell you one of them right now. So at the end of the day, it's like, man, give Trey a chance. Trey early on in the game, which I'm mad at Cal because I thought he should have took advantage of this early when it wasn't raining as much.
Yep.
He made some throws down the field. He hit 3 out of 4, 20-plus yards down the field. How long did it take Jimmy to do that all season to put 3 completions out of 4, to get it ball downfield? So, in my opinion, I thought Trey played well.
Trey
did. I thought he battled. I thought he showed heart. He made first downs. He made tough runs.
Hey, Rob, you're tapering out. Here's a great one from the 925, and this is what I love. Where were all these captains? We made such a big deal about captains last week, and Trey not being named one. Fred Warner, Trent Williams, George Kittle, Jimmy Ward, Armstead, and Bosa. Which one of those captains either suited up and showed up?
Yeah, I was going to say, George Kittle didn't play. Debo's not a captain. Armstead was invisible.
It wasn't a good Debo game.
Trent Williams, I didn't think had a great game.
No.
And Dominic Williams of the Chicago Bears said he watched film. This is a rookie.
I can't believe
this. Who said he watched film and picked up on tendencies from Mike McGlinchey and Trent Williams where they basically tipped off that it was going to be a pass. Basically, like, Trent Williams, toe taps, he double taps his left foot, and he was like, oh, this is a pass. This is a pass. So he didn't play well. Fred Warner was okay. I
thought Fred was okay.
Of all
the linebackers, he's the least I'm frustrated with.
Exactly. Jimmy Ward didn't play.
They missed him.
And who's the other captain? Oh, Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa, who I thought it was a mediocre game.
It was okay.
I didn't think it was a Bosa game.
I didn't think they moved him around enough. Hold on real quick. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game for the best and most up-to-date sports coverage. And do not forget that you can also watch us every single day on our YouTube and Twitch streams. Just log on and search 95.7 The Game. I would like to see Bosa moved around a little bit more. Yesterday when I was in Chicago, 670 scored Bear fans. I was talking to them after the show. And they're like, we don't get why you guys didn't move around Nick Bosa. We had a rookie tackle on the other side, and you guys played him on the other side a lot. Why did you move him around? And that's one thing.
I thought he was allowed to move wherever he wanted. I don't know.
I was too, but it felt like he was just in the same spot all the time. I like to see him go inside sometimes and go put some pressure on Justin Fields. And why not? If things are getting hairy there late in the game, blitz Justin Fields a little bit. Why not?
Well, they look like they spied him on a couple of plays. Right. I watched it back. It's so tough to tell.
Yeah, you don't know
what their assignments were, and everything was literally couldn't see the camera. I mean, it was just absolutely crazy. The thing that I keep going back to, though, B, is that I think there's this misnomer that the defense did enough. I thought they didn't. In a game like that, you can't give up more than 14 points.
No.
And with the conditions being what they were, even if you have a short-sided field, the Bears defense outplayed the Niners defense.
They did.
I thought.
They did. Those are the facts. They really did. They really did. I'm looking at the snap counts here. Bosa did play 45 of the 58 snaps. So
it's a lot of snaps.
Yeah, it's a lot of snaps. That's a lot of snaps. Eric Armstead played 42. Drake Jackson, 17 snaps. Drake Jackson, we didn't talk enough about either. I thought he popped.
You know,
he made a couple plays.
Ibukam looked like early on he was good, and then missing tackles and falling. Again, there were two plays in particular. All four linemen just fell to the ground.
Well, the play he hit Dante Pettis for 51 yards. Missed tackles on the 3rd and long. You have to get off the football field on 3rd down. That stretch that we highlighted yesterday, that sequence where Drake Greenlaw, I still cannot believe he grabbed the face mask when Montgomery's getting gang tackled. Bears fans at that point, Shasky, let me tell you, they're Bears fans behind me. Bears fans, what are we doing? Running the ball on 3rd and 4th. Seriously, screaming, loud. And then there's a flag. And it's like, why are you grabbing the face mask, Drake Greenlaw? All right? Hufaga makes a play.
It was reckless.
Gibson drops a pick. Drops a pick. Not an easy play, but you know what? We brought you in here. You got to make that play. That's the one missing element of this defense. What makes them special? We force turnovers, right? You got to come up with an interception right there and give your team a short field. That game is over if they hold the Bears to no points. Over. Said Dante Pettis, blow coverage, missed tackles on the same play, and now you got a whole new ball game. Well,
and it's just, you're sitting here, you're reflecting on the Bears game, and you're watching Seattle last night, and you're going, they look really angry. They look really angry, and they look like they're on a mission. And I'm very worried about the game this Sunday because if you fall to 0-2, I know mathematically you're still it feels like a curtain on going to the playoffs.
Well, listen. Well, I don't know about that because you got the extra playoff team.
I know, but I'm saying it feels. I'm not saying that's accurate.
But it's the same thing with Chicago. And this may be ask Rocco. Rocco, your boy Rocco. He was texting me, and he goes, Bonte, it's making me uncomfortable that everybody's picking us to blow out the Bears. And I said, yeah, me too. Me too, because all training camp, the Bears heard how they're going to get blown out. Matt Eberflus's first game, I thought the Niners would win that game. They should have won that game. They should have won that football game. But I was a little uncomfortable saying that we were just going to destroy the Bears at Soldier Field. It's like, look, man. And then once you get closer to the game, oh, man, it's going to rain. Oh, no, George Kittle's not going to play.
It wasn't just a rain game. It was insane rain.
It was insane.
Like, I mean, come on, B. Like, that's the other thing. It just feels like the worst possible condition. I'm not making an excuse. I'm explaining that I cannot believe watching every other game this week. The weather wasn't involved in any other game.
In Chicago, let me tell you. Saturday was beautiful in Chicago.
Of course,
not a cloud in the sky. Not a cloud in the sky. Let's go to Nick and Berkeley. Nick and Berkeley here on the roast. What's happening?
Hey, man, the sloppiness of our defense and the carelessness in the fourth quarter, seemingly every game, giving up 10 points. I mean, I don't know how many points we give up in the fourth quarter, but it's a lot more than the first and second combined. And I'm just like, man, secure the ball, man, and for the defense to get 5 3-and-outs in a row and we don't score, it happens all the time. It's like Shanahan goes to this little hole, and I don't know where he goes, like a little gopher. He disappears. He's under the dirt, crawling around. I'm like, dude, call some plays. When our defense is out there getting you the ball 5 times in a row, you got to get at least a couple first downs to give them a rest.
Yeah, well, you know what? Execution in the red zone was a problem.
Absolutely.
And the second down play where Jeff Wilson Jr. got tackled for a 2-yard loss, Juwan Jennings just smoked the block. He smoked the block. He's supposed to set the edge.
Oh, but he had an 88% block rate or whatever.
Well, that play, go back and watch that play.
No, I'm teasing.
I get it.
My bad.
He smoked the play. No, I get it. He smoked that block.
I heard somebody, I think it was JD brought this up, and I actually kind of feel him on this when I watched it back the second time. Didn't it feel like they were gassed in the second half?
Maybe, but that's an excuse to me.
No, I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm saying that's what I saw. It looked like a team that hadn't played a lot of football that deep into the game.
They got blitzed. And they got stung with a haymaker.
They were dazed. That's probably more accurate.
They were dazed.
But I kind of feel JD on that one because I was watching them. They did look like the team that didn't have anything. Like, this is our first time playing a tough game in the second half.
All right, Baldy coming up at 7:30. Larry in the city, he'll be on the show coming up after the break, and that'll be sponsored by Kirby.
Christy Frick with BetQL. The LA Chargers roll into Thursday Night Football against Pat Mahomes and the high-flying Chiefs as 3-point dogs on the road. Here's a trend to think about when betting this game. The Chargers are monsters against the spread when getting points on the road. 36, 16, and 4 in their last 56 games. That is a loss rate of just 29% when you bet the Chargers as road dogs. And with Justin Herbert and the Jack Boys getting 3 in Arrowhead, that is a trend that you should think about. I'm Trista Crick, helping you be the bookie.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake replacements, oil changes, washes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Kansas City Steak Company, another AmericanEagle.com success story. Started in 1932 as a family-owned butcher shop, today they're a leading distributor of superior all-American steaks delivered right to your door, ready for the grill and your taste buds. When it came to their website, an average site wouldn't do. They chose AmericanEagle.com to take their website to the next level. With a dramatic increase in competition and a softening market demand, they had 2 challenges: improve their brand presence and message, and produce a positive return. AmericanEagle.com got to work and executed usability studies and detailed audits of site experience, digital assets, and marketing. The result? An integrated digital marketing and customer experience plan, organic traffic increase of 20%, and a long-term roadmap for success. If you love great steaks, go to KansasCitySteaks.com for website design, development, equipment and online solutions that bring efficiency and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. If you need a results-driven website, call the team at AmericanEagle.com at 877-WEBNOW1. That's 877-WEBNOW1.
Okay, you know those amazing spots only the true San Francisco locals are in on? Like that place with the square pizzas? Or Mama Hoo-Hoo, the spot for sweet and sour chicken that's anything but so-so. Order up! You know, with the Granch dressing. And all the other spots the real SF locals know without us even saying them. Yeah, they're on DoorDash. San Francisco gets it. DoorDash has it.
Are you looking for a rewarding new career? Join the United States Postal Service and apply for roles nationwide. Serve your community with pride and receive benefits including competitive pay and opportunities for advancement. Whether you are looking for full-time, part-time, or seasonal positions, we have options that may be perfect for you. The United States Postal Service is an equal opportunity employer. Apply now at USPS.com/careers.
As you know, sports teams plan well ahead of the next season. If you're thinking of remodeling your home, consider the same strategy. Talk with your designer or builder now about your next project. Golden State Window and Door has new inventory coming online. Milgard, Anderson, and Marvin. See Golden State Window and Door's wide variety of accessories at convenient showrooms across the Bay Area or GoldenStateLumber.com. Since 1954, Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
Are you ready for your palm reading, my dear?
Yeah, let's do this.
I sense that you crave something.
More reliable.
Right. You know you deserve better and want out of a relationship.
Yes, with my big name wireless carrier.
You're who now?
My big name wireless carrier. That's why I switched to Xfinity Mobile. Now I get unlimited with 5G for $30 per month on the most reliable 5G network.
Let's talk about your aura. It's so...
And get this. They can even save you hundreds a year on your wireless bill over T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon.
Wow, that's actually really impressive.
Yep, but you already knew that, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I definitely saw this coming.
Start seeing savings today. Switch to the fastest mobile service, Xfinity Mobile. Now with the best price on 2 lines of unlimited, just $30 a line per month. Switch today. Xfinity Internet required. Price comparison for 2 unlimited lines under available 5G pricing plans of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds up to 20 gigabytes of usage per line. Most reliable based on root metrics. US report. Comcast analysis of mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data from Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Q2 2022.
This is Moses Moody, and you're listening to The Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, Moses.
Everybody's getting everybody.
We're going to see you in 9 days, Moses. 9 days. Warriors opening up
MAC, y'all. Young MAC Mall.
Trading camp. Warriors. Steph Curry.
Hey.
Some thoughts on Kevin Durant real quick, because Baldy's going to join us in about 12 minutes. Brian Baldinger, of course, at Baldy NFL, breaks out a game better than anybody. And he has some thoughts on Trey Lance and the 49ers and their loss to Chicago. Quick thoughts on Steph Curry and the Kevin Durant comments.
I mean, file this under duh. You know what I mean? DUH. Like, Kevin Durant's available, like you and I both said in real time. Of course you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, because of the trade rules, though, like it made it very difficult because you're limited on who you could trade because they have these weird algorithms where you can't trade a guy who's on his original contract extension. And so it made things very difficult for the Warriors. But, of course, you look into it.
Yeah, no
It's
doubt.
obvious. The cooler thing
Kevin
to me
Durant.
is that he's the first athlete on the Rolling Stones cover for 6 years.
Yeah, in the last 6 years, he's on
He's
the
in
cover.
Ireland right now. He's in Dublin.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Yeah, he's been on a world tour, man. So, Steph Curry, get back, man. Trading camp's coming back in 9 days, man.
I bet you
World
he's been
Tour's over.
golfing in Ireland, too.
Yeah, no doubt.
K-Club and
Probably.
Ballybunion.
St. Andrews?
No, St. Andrews
Oh, no,
is
St.
Scotland.
Andrews, Scotland. My bad.
It's okay. Different
But
island.
Can he go to, he could probably take a private jet from Ireland to Scotland?
Yeah, I mean, you think he's PJ in it?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Steph
I don't
Curry,
know.
PJ? Yeah, he's not getting.
It's a level of wealth I couldn't comprehend.
Dude, you think he's flying business on United? Come on, it's Steph Curry.
I can't wait for the Warriors to come back.
Dude, they're coming back. And then the Kevin Durant thing, everybody's kind of freaking out about that. By the way, Bob Myers, too. I love how he just stuffed it to the analytic geeks. Where's that, the MIT convention? Where he said, like, everybody looks at the regular season. You got, he's shooting 42% from 3, but you get to the playoffs, we're going to take away everything you do well.
Yeah. Shane Battier said it best, and then we're going to get right back into football, but he was talking about when he's going up against Kobe, everyone's like, you can't let him, shoot X, Y, and Z from the field. He's like, I'm just trying to make him miss a shot every now and then. A shot. So if I can make him slightly less good, I did my job.
Exactly.
So that's what we're talking about. The numbers and the geeks and the dweebs, they're ruining sports. Honestly, Bunty, they're ruining sports for me.
They are. Well, how about this? Matt Mayoko, NBC Sports Bay Area, just tweeted this. Got a lot of statements ripping the 49ers offensive line to shreds. That kind of surprised me after watching week 1. Surprised him. So he went back and he looked up the PFF, Pro Football Focus grades from the weekend. The 49ers pass blocking had the best grade in the NFL, and its run blocking was number 5. Still, a loss is a loss. If I told you that PFF had the Niners rated as the best pass blocking unit in the NFL in week 1, what would you say to that, Shasky?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Thank you. Can I ask you a question?
I mean, come on.
Can I ask you a question?
I watched the game.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why do we do this?
PFF?
Not just the writers.
I've been told you, PFF sucks.
Can I, some of the writers out there, when is it your turn to give me your thoughts? I'm asking out loud. Mayoko's been following this team forever. You really thought the offensive line played well in that game? Fine. Whatever. I disagree. It's just ridiculous. PFF, a bunch of nerds who ain't never laced it up, grading individual plays, not knowing the assignments, not knowing what they're supposed to do, and then the context of that particular game. I mean, what was the PFF rating on Mike McGlinchey giving up that third down sack that drove the Niners out of field goal range, forced them to punt, and then him not helping up his quarterback?
Right, Dominic Robinson.
What was the PFF rating on that?
Yeah, Dominic Robinson, 0.5 seconds in the backfield. But yet, PFF, Pro Football Focus, says the Niners had the best pass blocking unit in the NFL. And there's going to be some nerd on the internet today who comes at us and said, PFF said they're the best, so this is on Trey. Shut up.
PFF tells me Lawrence Taylor's not the greatest pass rusher of all time.
PFF.
Could you imagine that? That's what they do. They'd be like, you know what? Actually, the greatest New York Giant because of win percentage rate is O.C. Omenora. I'd laugh in their face.
They say Jim Burt. He had the best pass rushing grade during those 80s Giants teams. Come on,
but here's what's funny to me.
Come on, watch the game.
It's a tool, right? But at some point, the game I'm watching has to matter with my eyeballs.
Honestly,
it just drives me nuts.
If you want to use numbers for baseball, it drives me crazy, whatever. You want to use numbers for basketball, whatever. It drives me crazy still. But I listen to the Hall of Famers. Chris Mullin, for example.
I was just
I can't wait to see Chris Mullin. Because Chris Mullin, for 2 years now, and I can't wait to get back on set with him. Bonte, ain't no player talking about plus minus. Darrell Wright. We ain't in the club bragging about plus minus. Hey, my plus minus was a plus 28 tonight. Did you see that?
Can I see the stat sheet? Let me look at my plus minus.
Let me look at my plus minus.
No, they're looking up at how many points they scored.
Exactly.
How many rebounds and assists they got.
Dude, Mullin laughs at analytics. Really? Analytics going to tell me how to run the pick and roll? Analytics going to tell me who's a great player? Stop it with these numbers. Pro Football Focus. I've never cited Pro Football Focus, and I've never used them as an argument.
I use it as a tool.
I don't use it at all.
I use it as a tool.
Some dudes in the lab breaking down plays on a computer. You know what the assignments are. You know what the plays are. Come on, man. That's a joke. And in PFF, Hufanga was the highest rated player in the Bears game. A blind squirrel looking for a nut to see that Hufanga was the best player on defense on Sunday. Come on, man. Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder could see that number 29 was flashing all over the field.
Turn on the game.
God.
It's called turn on the game and watch it.
Christ.
I mean, it's just insane.
Odyssey Sports.
I bet that they thought that Jeff Wilson hit every dude, he was actually a 91% running back in this game.
He's supposed to run the A-gap. He ran the A-gap, so we're going to give him an A. All right, whatever. Odyssey Sports, First to Pod, new national NFL podcast hosted by Danny Parkins from The Score in Chicago and Andrew Filipponi from The Fan in Pittsburgh. Take a pair of best friends separated by 500 miles but united by their love of football. Give them a podcast and you get a First and Pod. Danny and Andrew will get you ready for week 2 with in-depth previews on every single game. Give them 40 minutes and they'll give you the league. New episodes every Monday and Thursday. Follow First and Pod on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. Brian Baldinger in 6 minutes here on the roast. Let's go to Larry in the city. Larry, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Okay, guys, I had a bad Sunday, man. I'm going to tell you, man, I was ready to fire Trey Lance and everything, and kick Shanahan out of the building. But then I thought about it, man. Our guys ain't really played anything. First of all, Trey Lance is not ready for the NFL. That dude, I don't know what you guys see in that dude. man, that guy cannot do that screen pass. He could have hit. Man, that guy just cannot throw the ball. I mean, he throws 2 good throws a game, and then we lose. That's what it is. I'm looking at it like this. I'm gonna give Trey Lance 5 games before I call him a bust.
All right, Larry and SF. Guess what? Larry? Hey, Larry, guess what? You're going on my cue card. Yeah. And I'm going to need another cue card because we've run out of room on a cue card. There's more names coming up. Bill Simmons, Coward. Coward's already on there. I think we put Coles on there twice. Coles started texting us. He stopped texting us. But here, how about this? We just got a tweet.
I'm sorry, sir.
Coles gets his own cue card at this point.
Yeah, he does. And Larry, thanks for the call. You're out of your mind right now. You're out of your mind right now. It's good to hear from Lovett.
So you just shut your yapper.
I don't even care about QBR. But there's a lot of people who come at us saying, what about the QBR? What about the QBR? What about the QBR? Bonte, what about QBR? Well, how about this with QBR? Trey Lance had a higher QBR than Aaron Rodgers, Mac Jones, Dak Prescott, Derek Carr, Mac Jones again, Baker Mayfield, Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, Joe Burrow, and a guy he played opposite of Justin Fields.
So that, okay, right there. Let's just stop. Let me stop you right there.
But I don't even care about QBR.
No, I don't either. But that tells me, I thought Fields outplayed him in the second half.
He did.
So, that's, again, this is going where I'm not trying to cherry pick data and use it. In that particular case, I think that's wrong. I think that Justin Fields, now maybe the first half was so bad, that's how the ratings go. I thought Fields clearly outplayed Trey Lance in the second half. That's the way I would look at it. And I'm just being fair.
No doubt.
And then, come on, anybody who doesn't think that Aaron Rodgers is better, even on his worst day, than Trey is right now at any day. Any day. I don't care if Trey's having his best day. We're crazy. Aaron's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever.
But it shows that he needs help.
Of
he
course.
Needs playmakers.
Well, so does Aaron Rodgers, clearly.
Yeah. But that's what I was saying. Aaron Rodgers needs playmakers. Tom Brady's last year in New England had no playmakers, which we all thought he was cooked because he had no playmakers. You need playmakers on the football field. You need them. When you take away George Kittle, how compromising that offense look in the passing game? You're throwing to Juwan Jennings 6 times. Brandon, now you've got 2 targets. 2 targets. Come on, man. Gosh, let's go to Charles in Redwood City. Charles, what's happening? You're on the roast. Baldy in 3 minutes. Brian Baldinger coming on the roast in 3 minutes. What's up, Charles?
What's up, Monte? What's up, Shasky? First time call. Hey, I just wanted to say I had to piggyback on you guys with the PFF grades and the analytics in sports. Look, I understand that there's a space for numbers and statistics in sports like that. But these people, man, come on, you got these nerds who can't even play sports, never shot a basketball, threw a baseball or football, trying to tell people about the game of football. Like, listen, hey, a 0 is a 0, a 1 is a 1, but Barry Sanders isn't Justin Forsett.
Thank you. Thank you.
In the world that you can try to sit there and calculate that.
So good.
It's so good. It's so true.
Here's the other thing I want to accentuate.
By the way, real quick before you say that, I just want to say, Trey Lance had a game that Garoppolo has all the time, right? Didn't it look like a game?
But here's where I want to separate, because this is important. Pick any industry. I don't care what industry it is. Okay, let's say you're a plumber. My family's a bunch of plumbers. Okay, if you've been plumbing for 8 years, I expect you to know certain things and to do certain things on the job site.
Yep.
If you've been here for a year and you're still in your apprenticeship, all right, which is where Trey Lance is at in his career, I'm not expecting of you what I was expecting from the 8-year in veteran.
Right.
Okay? I don't care what profession it is. So let's be real here. When I first started off in radio, okay, to think that I would be as polished as you or as polished as Damon is foolish. It's just foolish. Now, as time goes on, you're hoping that maybe, the person's ceiling or their know-how or whatever, they can get better, or you think that they do certain things better than another guy, and you're hoping to eclipse them down the line. But to think that week 1, you're going to be better than someone who's been doing this for 8 years, pick the profession.
Yeah, no doubt.
Come on.
There's no doubt we would have ripped Jimmy and Jimmy would have won that game in the first half. Well, Jimmy wasn't carrying the football. Deebo Samuel was. All right? Deebo Samuel's carrying the football.
Well, and here's the other thing. We do this win-loss thing with quarterbacks. Do you know what the win-loss record is for the Niners when Deebo and Nick Bosa plays? Like 27-5 or something like that. Some crazy number.
By the way, you will love this. Sam Levin just sent this to us. Robert Saleh takes all receipts, too. He has his own cue card.
Oh, he does?
We're all taking receipts on all the people who continue to mock and say we ain't going to do anything. I'm taking receipts, and I'm going to be more than happy to share them with all of y'all when it's all said and done. That's Robert Saleh, but that's tough slat in New York City.
Robert, I love you, but when D'Amico leaves, you might be coming back. What? I have a feeling we're taking that whole staff back.
By the way, before we get to Baldy, don't forget to download the Odyssey app. 95.7 The Game, thousands of other stations, and millions of podcasts are free on the Odyssey app. And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube at 95.7 The Game, on Twitch, and of course the Comcast Business Text line. We love all you guys. Again, now it's time. We've been waiting for 7:30 since the game was over in Chicago on Sunday. It's time for a little Brian Baldinger.
He breaks down plays better than anyone.
I mean, this is like Shark Week now. And you know what Baker Mayfield is? He's chum. Look at these sharks. You think you're getting away from those 4 angry sharks? It's Shark Week. It's time to eat. Make the read urgency. That's the name of the game right here. Urgency. Now, on it. He's on it. Touchdown. Beautiful throw.
He's our 95.7 The Game NFL insider, Brian Baldinger.
And he's looking as dapper as ever. The clean white button up.
He
with
looks
the
like James
blazer
Bond.
On. Yeah, what is going on?
You gotta get to YouTube right now, search 95.7 The Game, and you can look at Baldy.
Who are you about to snipe out, Baldy? Jeez.
It's just that kind of day, guys. You know, I mean, people got a couple of commitments television-wise. It's got to be ready to roll here.
No,
so.
we love it. We love it. By the way, I want you to break down the waddle
I'd much
dance.
rather be in a. I'd much rather be in a Shasky sweatshirt.
I need Baldy to break down the waddle dance. You see the Dolphin fans doing the Jalen Waddle dance.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that.
I posted it today, Bonte.
Oh, I got to check
it out. The
waddle
dance is like. Oh, yeah. I mean, I hope that guy scores 20 touchdowns. I got to see more.
Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Yes, it's too already. He's going to be with us every single Tuesday at 7:30. All right, the first question of the day has to be about Trey Lance. Overall, general thoughts on number 5 in the season debut for the 49ers and their loss to the Bears.
Well, he didn't lose the game for him. You know, he didn't lose it. You know, you like to see in the fourth quarter him be able to see Eddie Jackson, you know, making that throw, but I mean, there's a lot of guys that make that throw and don't see him. You know, he made a great play. He's a really good free safety. But other than that, I mean, you know, in those kind of conditions, I mean, yeah, he missed a throw to Tyler Kroft. I mean, it's old Shanahan play. They've been running that thing for 30 years now. If he runs it 8 more times, he probably, you know, strikes, you know, gold on 7 of the 8. I mean, it's just, he just overthrew him. But, you know, he didn't lose the game. I mean, they didn't block well up front. They didn't run the ball well. Nobody could tell you the name of those defensive linemen for the Chicago Bears. Nothing against Justin Jones or Angelo Blackson or any of those other guys up there, but I mean, you know, this isn't a top 5 defense, and you know there was a lot of 1 and 2 yard runs from that offense on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. What are a couple things that you really liked that were flashes that show promise, and what were a couple things that maybe you're a little worried about that he has to clean up?
Well, I mean, I think when he gets a clean pocket, you know, like a lot of quarterbacks, they can make great throws like the one to Ray McLeod or, you know, the one over the top to, you know.
Jawan Jennings.
To Jawan, and then he hit to one to Ayuk, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, those throws are pretty clean. But, you know, when he gets a dirty pocket and, you know, he misses throws, that's when you want him to just be able to calm down in the eye of the storm and just be able to sit there and make the throw. Or, look, if he's got to do something athletic in that pocket to avoid a hit, you know, to throw over some obstruction, you like to see him still be able to drive the ball and hit the throw accurately. And I think that's something that he still struggles with, like a lot of guys do.
Brian Baldinger here on 95.7 The Game on the Morning Roast. He'll be with us every single Tuesday at 7:30 in the morning, breaking down every 49ers football game with us. As for the offensive line, I just saw Pro Football Focus. I don't really I stay away from the grades and the analytics, all that. Football's football, man. Look, watch the game with your own 2 eyes and you can see what's what. They had the 49ers graded with the best pass protection this week. Now, I was in Soldier Field in that monsoon, Baldy. I didn't see the best pass blocking unit this week in the NFL. What was your assessment of this offensive line, both in the run and pass game?
Well, I don't know how they grade, you know, Mike McGlinchey if Dominique Robinson, a 5th-round pick out of Miami of Ohio, beats him clean to the inside, you know, and then slams Trey Lance to the ground with one. He must have a strong paw. Yeah. At least slam him to the ground with one hand. You know, they can. I don't know about the grades. I don't pay any attention, but you know, I mean, they have to play better. They have to play. They just have to play better. I mean, because you have to give your quarterback every opportunity. And they've drafted these guys high. Aaron Banks is a 2nd-round pick. I mean, they've drafted these guys high, you know, to be elite pass protectors and an elite offensive line. And so I know Aaron Banks, it's his first start, all that kind of stuff. But, you want to see guys up front play better than they did, period. I mean, that's just the way it has to be.
Baldy, we were kicking this back and forth, and Bonte doesn't think it's an excuse or anything. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but it's an element, and I felt like the conditions were out of control. How much can you really take away? I'm asking you, someone who used to play, and you study this every single week when it comes to the film. How much can you really pull away from one of these kind of games in that kind of rain?
Well, it's hard. I mean, but the good thing for both teams was ball security was really good. I mean, Debo got the ball knocked out. I don't care. You could play that, that play in the desert. Jalen Johnson, punches that ball out. It happens. Jawan Brisker gets on it. But, I mean, overall, just handling the ball handling, it was really good in those conditions, which is usually the first thing you worry about. Even the footing was pretty good. Guys weren't slipping all over the field. I thought the guys kept their feet underneath them for the most part. But, you can't practice in that. Nobody goes out in those conditions to practice. I remember one day, just old story. I remember one time I was in Green Bay during training camp, and Brett Favre had an intern, and his job during this one drill was to take a ball, dump it in a pail of water, and give it to Brett Favre to throw, like just throwing wet balls. And so, I think Trey Lance had a couple of slip out of his hands on Sunday, throwing it, just kind of some hitch screens, and ball got away from him. But, I mean, just something that simple can be worked on.
No doubt about that. Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Looking over at the defense. I thought the broken play, Dre Greenlaw grabs a face mask on third down. Bears get a first down. Hufanga makes a great play, but right before that, Gibson Johnson interception. It didn't a broken play, which woke up the Bears, and it woke up Soldier Field. And from then on, they scored 19 straight to win that football game. What did you see on that broken play, other than the missed tackles on Justin Fields from Ebu Cobb and Eric Armstead?
Well, Justin made a great play. He spun out. A lot of these guys, that's what they do when they feel pressure from the backside. And Armstead was looping around, and he felt it, and he spun. He got to an open field, and he got away from, all of the defensive line. And I don't know how he really located, his receiver on the play, Dante Pettis. I really don't know how he saw him, but he did. And, the 49ers just lost track of him. And then they didn't tackle well at the end of that play to keep him out of the end zone. And so you got to give him credit. On Hufanga, was really frozen on the touchdown to Equinemius St. Brown because he had to be. He had two other receivers in the middle of the field. He's the free safety. But I give Justin Fields credit. I mean, he looked him off. He kind of held him. And then when he threw the ball over the top, there was a little bit of a breakdown there. But overall, I'm just watching this defense going, they are so freaking good. Hufanga was unreal. The plays that guy makes, he kind of reminds you a little bit. I don't want to make any comparisons to Hall of Famers, but he reminds you of Troy Polamalu, the way he plays. He's in the backfield. He's aggressive. He gets underneath the offensive lineman. He sticks his head in everywhere. He's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
Look, they had 12 penalties, and most of them were on defense. This sliding thing with these quarterbacks.
It's ridiculous.
It's got to be coached up. I'm not saying Aziz Shahir, Shahir and all these guys that got, Dre Greenlaw. You got to know that the flag's coming out if you do anything. And so, they have to coach that up better. They got so many first downs on defense. That really sparked Chicago and allowed them to keep the ball.
So how do you coach that up? Because that particular play, me and Bonte have been talking about this, and I remember there was a kid in college who did it. He pretended like he was going to slide.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kenny Pickett. And then he didn't slide, and then he got cracked, and they were like, oh, personal foul. It just feels like, to me, it's now become almost like basketball where you do the pump fake and the lean in. It feels like an offensive weapon that is almost impossible to defend because these guys can slide in very late. It's just difficult. And then you get a free 15 yards. How do you coach that up, Baldy?
So, you just mentioned something, Shasky, that was really good, Joe. I mean, they're sliding really late.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so now you're coming full speed. You're Dre Greenlaw, you're one of the fastest linebackers in the league. You can't just put the Jake brake on.
Exactly.
But I think your aiming point when they do begin to slide, you first of all, I think you have to sort of anticipate it. It's not a running back. Running backs aren't sliding.
Yeah.
All right, but quarterbacks are. So you have to identify who the ball carrier is. Okay, if it's a quarterback, you almost know Jalen Hurts, Justin, all these guys. So you got to anticipate the slide, number one. And then number two, I think the aiming point is, I think you got to really aim for the body. So that means changing your eyes and changing your aiming point. I think if they hit the body and the head, and you stay as far away from the head as possible, you still make sure that they get down.
Yeah.
You still kind of let them feel your punch. And then I think you might be able to avoid the flags that are flying right now.
Yeah, I know. And Trey wants to go through people, and I'm like, hey, you're not going to last all 17 games.
Take advantage of the rules.
Right? You did go down, my friend. I'm worried about the running back situation. Elijah Mitchell gets announced that he's out for almost 2 months yesterday. It felt like all the juice in the run game was zapped the second he left. I hate crushing the guy. Jeff Wilson Jr. is a backup. How can they get some juice in the run game here, Baldy? I'm worried.
Yeah, I would be too. I mean, 12 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the second quarter, and Elijah Mitchell's down. I mean, I didn't really see what happened on the play. It was really difficult for me to see just what the injury, like how it happened. But regardless, you got basically 2 rookies there and Jeffrey Wilson. So how much can you rely on? I mean, look, Mason looked good in the preseason, free agent. All right. Davis Price, TDP. I mean, you're going to have to count on these guys because it's going to be a committee. I don't think, look, they went right back to the well last year, and they went right back to Debo and carried it 8 times, and he looked like Debo last year. But, we heard some of the things that he talked about before the contract this year. I don't think you can feed it to him 8 times a game from the running back position.
Wow.
And I know he's not going to be happy catching 2 balls for 14 yards.
Right. 8 targets, Baldy. 8 targets for Debo in that game, and a lot of it was smoke screens. They got to get him down the field, but the report, or everybody's, even Joe was down there at training camp, is he's not getting separation at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he's not, then he has to work on that. He's got to work on his release. He's got to work on his crossover dribble. I mean, there's been plenty of guys that don't have, that type of top-end speed that can get off the bump.
Devontae.
That can get off press, that can get separation. Then he's got to work on it. He's still a young receiver. He's not a finished product.
No doubt about that. Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Looking at the defense, giving up 19 straight points there in the second half. This defensive line we talked about all offseason. Great defensive line. What did you see from that unit, specifically Nick Bosa, number 97? Because after the first quarter, where he's getting a lot of pressure, to me, being there, I didn't see a lot of 97. And I don't know if the Niners moved him around or what, but the defensive line really caved in there in that fourth quarter.
Well, be honest with you, they didn't. They dropped back to throw 19 times in a game. So, they just didn't drop back that much. I mean, 19 dropbacks in a game, you're not getting that many opportunities. When it was 3rd and 8, Nick Bosa was winning easily. And so the defense line is really good. I mean, Drake Jackson is going to be a good player, man. He made a couple plays in the run game, but he's a really athletic guy. He really, he really just has a feel for the game, spinning out of blocks in the run game, making tackles. Kinlaw looked effective. I know he got banged up early. He got stepped on somebody stepped on his foot and banged up, but he got back in there. So, I mean, they rotated the guys. Givens was in there. They're all in there. They just didn't get that many opportunities.
Right. What did you think of Shanahan's game plan Sunday, Baldy? I know the rain came in that fourth quarter, the monsoon. It was nasty out there. But overall, what did you think of Shanahan's game plan?
Well, I mean, look, Chicago, you got to give Matt Eberflus and Luke Getsy credit. I mean, when it was 7-0, 10-0, they're running it on 3rd and 11. They're running it on 3rd and 7. They just weren't going to, allow for turnovers and put the ball in a young quarterback's hands against that defense in those conditions. And so they just kept running it and punting it. And then so I never felt like Kyle got antsy. They were in control, 7-0, 10-0. Even at 10-7, I felt like he still thought he was in control. They missed a couple of shots down the field that could have been big. But I didn't feel like he panicked at all. They didn't run the ball like they expected to run the ball outside of, Debo and some runs. That was disappointing.
Brian Baldinger with us, breaking down the 49er game. I mean, he's just the absolute best, does it all over NFL Network, the internet. I mean, no one's better at breaking down the film. I felt like they really missed George Kittle in this game. Did you notice them missing George Kittle?
Yeah, I did. I think they missed him on the edge. I like to see him in some of his combo blocks. They weren't in a two-back system very much at all. So you saw very little of Juice in that game. So that's unusual for that team. But I said last week that the combination of Juice and Kittle together is very difficult to defend on the edge. And you just saw very little of it. So maybe it was Kittle out that made less of an impact for Juice. And I've said it before, like sometimes Juice can impact the game without ever touching the ball as much as any player on that team. And so you didn't see that. And so was that because Kittle wasn't available and they just weren't going to do that with Dwelly and Charlie and some of the other guys? I think so.
Right.
And then you just don't know, like anytime Kittle touches the ball in the passing game, his yards after catch are as good as anybody in this league at that position. And so short passes can turn into long gains when Kittle has the ball in his hand. So you know, an elite player like that, I think they missed him terribly.
Baldy, we started this interview talking about Trey Lance and the quarterback, and so I'm going to end this interview talking about the quarterback spot. A lot of people, obviously, the quarterback room with Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance is getting talked about a lot out here in the Bay Area, and a lot of people believe Jimmy Garoppolo wins that game. I think the game plan looks different. That's just my opinion. You played the game. Does Jimmy win that game for the 49ers?
I can't make that prediction. I don't know. I don't know, Bonte. I mean, it's not fair.
It's a hypothetical.
You know,
I know.
It is hypothetical, and I understand. I understand the question. I don't know. You know, he hasn't played at all. No preseason, no offseason. I haven't seen him throw a football yet. I'm sure he's, full speed, but I haven't seen him throw it. But I don't know if he can drive the ball the way he needs to and all those kind of things. They just have to – I'm sure Kyle has talked to the team, talked to the leaders on the team. I know he has about, look, the noise might get loud. We got to make sure that Trey knows that we got his back. You just can't change horses right now. You just can't.
Yeah. Right.
Like you have to allow him to struggle. And whatever that means, like under 50% completion in the rain, you just have to allow him to struggle. And even if you lose a game here or you lose a game there, that maybe Jimmy, to your point, Bonte wins, maybe. Right. But long term, you have to allow him. We have to see more.
Right.
And the only way he's going to get better is by playing through this.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Go ahead, Shaq.
No, we've got Seattle this week, so obviously the Seahawks have been a big rival of the Niners. Pete Carroll. I'm watching that game last night, and I initially wanted the Broncos to win, but God, I just can't stand Russ so much that I'm like, you know what? Good for Geno Smith, but that's not what I want to ask you about. And I don't want to ask you about Seattle's roster. The situation, them not taking the timeout, them kicking a field goal, 64-yarder. What did you think of the entire sequence? I thought it was absolutely insane.
Me too. I said the same thing. I tweeted out, like, why are you ticking the clock down, first of all? Like, why are you wasting time? Put the ball in Russell's hands. That's why he's there. You gave up the entire franchise to get him. 4th and 5 for crying out loud. I see, Mike McDaniel in Miami on 4th and 7.
Going for it.
Throw a touchdown that stuck the fork right in the Patriots, right before half. Like, put it in his hands. Like, he's not. He's your basic playmaking quarterback.
Yeah.
He did it for a decade. How do you take the ball out of his hands and put it in the kicker's hands? Like, it made no sense to me. The whole thing made no sense to me.
And then Nathaniel Hackett called it 2 timeouts when Seattle's in victory formation. He embarrassed himself in that. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Rookie head coach. I mean, look, until you are in that situation and the whistle's around your neck and the game plan's in your hands, you don't know how anybody's going to respond. It's a little easier when Aaron Rodgers is there and you're not the guy.
Yeah, no doubt. By the way, Seattle does lay the wood.
They are
a hard-hitting team. And next Sunday at Levi Stadium, to me, Baldy, it screams body bag game.
You saw the goal line plays last night. You saw those plays in the goal line. Like, they played, that wasn't even on the goal line, guys. That play, those balls were inside the 1 yard line.
Unreal.
And they popped both those fumbles.
Wow.
I mean, it was it looked like a great goal line drill, like something you'd go out to practice to go watch and see.
No, they were physical yesterday.
Baldy,
should be a lot of fun. Baldy, man, you're looking dapper, man. Where are you going on TV? Sky Sports, NFL Network. What
Sky
you got on
Sports, NFL Network? Like, it's loaded up here, man. I'm going straight through the day.
You're locked in, baby. You're locked in. Baldy, a.k.a. Jay's Bond.
Are you coming to Levi's at any point in this season? I know you're kind of like week to week.
Yeah, where are you at this week?
I'm in Baltimore, Miami, Baltimore.
Oh, Oh, so you've
I'm heading down to Green Bay.
You've had Chiefs,
Green Bay
Cardinals.
and Tampa.
Wow. So you had Chiefs, Cardinals,
Yeah, I mean-
week 1. So you saw Mahomes light up the world in Glendale, Arizona. Arizona
so
just got
amazing.
smoked. Then you go
He's
to
the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's the
By
best player
far.
in the league.
Wow.
And look, Joe Montana, Steve Young,
Yeah, of
Hall of
course,
Fame
of
players.
course.
They couldn't play the way Mahomes played.
Wow.
The way he plays the game, they can't play that way.
What is
You can't
it?
even
What
compare
is it
eras.
about him, Baldy? Like, what is it when you're watching it? What's really the separator? The arm talent is so obvious, but it's like the feel for everything within the pocket, throwing guys open. Like,
Instincts,
what are
yeah.
the specifics?
So you just mentioned, Joe, like the feel for the pot. I mean, the arm is the arm, okay? I mean, you can play third base on any Major League Baseball team and throw guys out at first easily. But the thing that amazes me, if I was Trey Lance, I would study Patrick Mahomes. Like his ability when the pocket begins to collapse to always find the escape route. Like last week, Trey Lance stepped right into a sack. Like, Trent's got his guy in good shape, Dominic Robinson, and he ends up falling off because Trey kind of just got antsy in the pocket. Like, I would study this guy's movement in the pocket. It's just so rare of what he can do. He always finds the opening and the escape route, and then he has this GPS system in his head, and then his eyes can locate any one of the 5 receivers. Anywhere on the field and get the ball to him.
He was special last week. It was special.
It feels like we're watching Far from the 90s,
Right.
but even better if that's. I don't even
then
know.
you got
if
Josh
that's-
Allen up there at Buffalo
I mean,
making the
they're
plays
both
that he's
ridiculous.
making. They're on a collision
It's a good
course.
era, guys.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
good
a great era. And then Baldy's going to Baltimore to go check out Miami and the Ravens and Lamar Jackson throwing the ball deep.
It's a wheelbarrow game because Mike McDaniels is coming in with a wheelbarrow.
No doubt.
Exactly. Those nuts in that wheelbarrow. All right, guys.
All right,
See ya,
Baldy.
Baldy.
Take care, man. We
He's
talk to
the
you next
best.
week. 7:30 Tuesday, Baldy. Going to Baltimore, man. And a lot there to break down. We got Dave Fleming coming up in 9 minutes to talk about what the hell happened to the Giants last night, specifically with Kapler, the reliever.
Yeah.
Was Zach Littell? Is it Littell? What the hell? I don't even know. DFA his ass. I'm tired of it. I don't even want to say his name anymore. But real quick, the recap Baldy and what he had to say about Trey Lance getting empty in the pocket.
I mean, I think that's expected when you have this few reps, just in general. I think that's expected. I think this is part of why this is why I wanted to see him play a little more last year, a lot more last year, because, you've got to get better by actually playing. You don't get better on the sidelines. This narrative that so-and-so's not ready, so we're going to put him on ice, and then we're going to prolong the readiness. Like, you need to go out there and play.
Let's get to Jacob in just a second here, Santa Rosa, but he needs to play. There's no doubt about that.
And
but
then
I'm seeing a
him
lot of
not being-
YouTube. I'm seeing a lot of YouTube comments, and we talked about this a lot. When he was in the up tempo, they used the up tempo for a little
He
sliver
looked
of that
so
game.
much more rhythmic.
We saw it in the preseason game last year against San Diego or against the LA Chargers at the SoFi Stadium. We saw a little bit when they got rolling there. It scored that touchdown in the first half. Little no huddle.
Well, I think
little up tempo.
The number one job of any manager is to make sure that your employees are comfortable and they're in their best position to succeed.
He looks comfortable.
That's kind of where I'm going
He
with
looks
this.
comfortable.
Is if that's where he does feel the most comfort, then you need to go to more of
I
that.
can't believe they lost to the Bears, man. I cannot believe that. Let's go to Jacob in Santa Rosa. Jacob, real quick before we get to Flem. What's up, Jacob?
Just real quick, I need to know, going back to what Shasky said about what he saw, how Justin Fields outplayed Trey Lance in the second half. Because what I saw was a prayer to Dante Pettis.
He was wide open.
Almost dropped it. Wide open.
He's wide open now.
Coverage. That's not on Trey Lance.
No, I'm saying that Justin Fields made plays. I mean, I don't think that that's a terrible thing or an indictment on Trey Lance. When Trey Lance had the ball down 9 points, it was pouring, and I don't even think the Chiefs, for as great as Mahomes is, I don't even know if they score a touchdown in that rain.
You know what though? The rain really didn't kick in into that fourth.
No,
quarter.
but that's what I'm talking
You know
about
what
is
I'm
just
saying?
that fourth quarter.
But that Dante Pettis play. Go ahead, Jacob. Continue, because there was nobody within 16 yards of Dante Pettis. But go ahead, Jacob.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So my point is if a side-by-side comparison, to me, what I saw was Trey Lance, who is technically making what? How many starts?
3
of his profession?
This is now 3.
3. Justin Fields, how many?
This was his
last year.
13th.
He was 2-8 last year.
Or,
Yeah.
excuse me, 11.
2-8 last year.
That's my
So
point. I feel what I'm hearing from all the national media and all this stuff is just it's getting blown out of proportion. I feel like Trey Lance
the sky is the limit for this.
I said he played good. I think you're hung up on me saying that Justin Fields. I thought Justin Fields made a couple of more plays in the second half, and Trey didn't. I don't think it's a sweeping indictment on Trey Lance. I thought that Justin Fields used his legs and threw a couple guys open. That's all. And we're talking about 2 or 3 plays. I'm not talking about like thoroughly through 48 minutes.
Nah, Trey,
60 minutes.
Dude, that's a typical Jimmy Garoppolo game that we saw on Sunday. And if you think we were going to crush Jimmy Garoppolo if they lost that game, you damn right we would have. You damn right. Because look at it. He's been in the league since 2014. 2014 has had a number of starts. So Jimmy can't go out there and lose that game. He can't go out there and lose that game. People who say that, you're absolutely right. We would have crushed Jimmy Garoppolo if he lost that game. But if you watch that game on Sunday, you realize, and Baldy just said it right off the rip, that game's not on Trey Lance. It's on penalties. It's on the offensive line, because he basically just said PFF. I don't know what they're looking at. Offensive line didn't play great.
Mike McGlinchey got pushed back in multiple times. And he also admitted that Trey Lance ran into a sack.
No doubt.
But the other thing that he brought up was when you asked him about Jimmy Garoppolo, which I thought was a fair question, he's like, how can I even begin to answer that?
It's a game plan. It's everybody asked it. We had to answer the question because I don't think Jimmy wins that game. I don't think the game plan's completely different as well. So, anyway, we could argue about that till we're blue in the face.
I just find it interesting, an expert, a film expert who's watched more Jimmy Garoppolo back and forth than anyone in this market had no idea how to answer that question.
He basically backed us up.
I mean,
everything we said, Baldy basically backed it up. And no, Brian on YouTube, I'm not making any excuses about the rain. I said throw the weather out the window. Weather to me is not an excuse. It's not an excuse on why the 49ers lost and why Trey Lance played poorly in the fourth quarter.
I'm more worried about how they're going to establish the run for Trey Lance than I am about Trey Lance getting better week to week. Right now.
The rain, nothing. Anyway, injury report. Let's go.
It's time for the injury report.
It really hurt.
Brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years.
All right, we know the deal with Elijah Mitchell. He's going to miss the next 2 months, at least the next 2 months, with a sprained MCL he suffered in the first half of Sunday's loss to the Chicago Bears. And Niners head coach Kyle Shanahan said yesterday that he is unsure whether or not tight end George Kittle will be able to play this week against Seattle. And also Javon Kinlaw, he injured his ankle, although it's not believed to be severe enough to put his status for Sunday's game against Seattle at home at Levi Stadium for the home opener in doubt. Javon Kinlaw should be able to go with that ankle sprain. The injury report brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. What is coming up on the game? Sponsored by Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises. The one and only Dave Fleming to talk about what the hell went wrong yesterday at Oracle Park in the Giants' win over the Atlanta Braves.
Some fans gear up for game day, but some fans follow their team every day. That's why the Locked On Podcast Network has a daily podcast for your favorite NFL team. Every trade, every overtime win, every game. Our local experts cover the biggest stories around your team every day. Search Locked On plus your favorite NFL team on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts. The Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Kirby, it's your driveway mechanic, and they bring the shop right to you. Brakes, tire replacements, oil changes, and more. Just yesterday, I had somebody hit me up in my DMs and said, what's the code? I said, Oil 50. And that's right. They're adding an eco-friendly wash. Barely uses any water and makes your car look brand spanking new. I'm going to use it this week. The ultimate convenience, easy booking, transparent pricing, on-time arrival, but service in my driveway. No waiting rooms, coordinating rides, just direct access to the mechanic. Friendly, reliable service, no middlemen, no upsells. Get $50 off your first oil change with the code. Here it is, OIL50. That's OIL50. Check out Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month. with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 9/21/22. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title? No problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The gamer, the call maker, the experience chaser. What if you could be everything all at once? Galaxy Z Fold 4 is powered by the Snapdragon processor for world-class performance and lightning-fast speed to turbocharge your multitasking. How about an expansive edge-to-edge screen for immersive gaming, hands-free video calls with flex mode, and multi-window view to use up to 3 apps at the same time? With Galaxy Z Fold 4, do more with ease and make multitasking a breeze. Available now at Samsung.com.
Bart is turning 50 and we'd love to celebrate with you. Get 50% off your ride in honor of Bart's 50 years of service to the Bay Area when you pay with Clipper. That's 50% off Clipper Bart fares for the entire month of September. Add Clipper to your digital wallet for free. If you're eligible for other Clipper discounts like youth or senior fares, you get to take an additional 50% off those too. Details at bart.gov/50 years. That's bart.gov/50 years. Celebrate Bart's 50 years of service with us this September. Let's go.
Golfers, tee it up this fall at the Golf Mart for big savings. Save up to $150 off on Ping G425 woods. Upgrade your gear with discounted Wilson standard cart golf bags and stock up on TaylorMade Distance Plus golf balls. Now 2 dozen for $35. Don't miss these items and more happening now at the Golf Mart and get a free custom fitting today. The Golf Mart, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
So is this the line for Dragon's Maze?
Wow, the line is really long.
We'll meet up later.
How long will you wait?
As long as it takes.
So you guys are only going to do this one ride all day?
It won't be that long. Probably.
Mom, can you get us food?
Wait, are they cutting?
Caleb, food is so far away.
Should I say something?
Daddy, pick me up. Mom!
Hey, there's a line here.
Daddy, swing me.
That's like 20 people.
Oh my God.
One person holds the line for 20 people? This is bull.
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant cash offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the it's, KBB.com.
How do you make the most of your land? Everyone has their way. The Nelsons depend on their John Deere Gator XUV 835R to get
from point A to point B with decoys and the dogs.
As much as we got going on, it's all about efficiency.
And if you ask the Mosers what they use their Gator XUV 590M for, they tell you.
The most fun we have on the Gator is just ripping around the property.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's time to wake up with a nice cup of morning roast.
Oh, yeah.
Featuring Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky.
Well, I'm about that action, boss.
Take him out! This It's the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
So this is when the manager went to get him, and something was said by Littell, and then when Gabe came back into the dugout, he said, "All right, young man, we got to have a chat." And a chat they had.
Dwight Kuiper on the call.
Explain to
NBC
people.
Sports Bay Area. I will, Shasky. Let me get there. Good morning, everybody out there in Old Baby. We got drama with the Giants. Even though they won a game yesterday, coming back off that road trip, 3-2 against the Braves. Strider's really good for the Braves, but he picked up the loss. He's now 10-5. Alex Cobb, 3 straight starts, going at least 7 innings, 6 hits, 7 Ks. You could see him back next season with the Giants. But Zach Littell basically didn't like getting pulled out of that baseball game. Didn't like getting pulled after giving up 3 hits, 2 runs, and a walk, and his ERA ballooned to 5.08. And he had some words for Gabe Kapler. And as soon as Gabe Kapler got back to the dugout, he had some words for Littell, and they walked back to the clubhouse.
Well, no. See, this is the part I want to explain.
It was a strut.
Kapler walked like he was the dad ready to put a whooping on the kid from back in the day.
Unbelievable.
I have no idea what ended up happening, but they went into the dugout or whatever, the tunnel, I guess, area.
The tunnel right between the dugout and the clubhouse.
Kapler looked ready. He looked ready to hit the weights.
Zach Littell, after giving up 3 hits and 2 runs and a walk, to do that, I mean, he had to be checked.
He was the only person on the planet who thought he should have faced Matt Olson in that situation. And it's like, dog, read the room.
Oh, man. Giants, they're 9 games behind the Padres for that final wild card spot. 5 games under 500. But we have to talk to our main man, Dave Fleming, of course, presented by the County of Santa Clara. Book a COVID-19 booster shot now at sccfreevax.org or call 211-GIANTS. They've won 3 in a row. Win 2 or 3 against the Cubbies over the weekend at Wrigley Field. That was a fun time in Chicago. Shasky, you got to go to Wrigley one day, man. It was surreal. But Flip, what's happening, man? Good morning. What a scene last night at Oracle Park.
Well, you know, this team is not boring. They don't just win a game, lose a game. It's winning streaks, it's losing streaks. It's been such a strange season, but it was a really good game, and that was a very, considering all the circumstances, how late they got in and how good the Braves are and how important that game is for Atlanta, that was a good win for the Giants.
That was a good win, but everybody's talking about what happened there with Zach Littell and, of course, Gabe Kapler late in the game. Littell gives up the 2 runs, the 3 hits, and a walk, and didn't seem like he was pleased with getting yanked. But he shut up the manager, and then you see Kapler just strutting there in a dugout and follows Littell back into the tunnel, and they had a nice little chat. Break down the scene there for us, Flynn. What did you think of Littell kind of talking smack back to his manager there after getting yanked?
Well, I mean, it was just so unusual. Number one, because Zach Littell is he is like the world's nicest guy. Zach is very mild-mannered off the field. I mean, he's a competitor. You have to be when you're out there. And also, I mean, it's undeniable. He was getting knocked around. There was no nuance or subtlety. There was no question about making the move. So I was just surprised that the move was made and that he reacted to the move that seemed so obvious. So anyway, I mean, look, I'm always willing to give a guy a pass and chalk up something to just, the competitive juices were flowing. It was a weird scene. Zach would not be the guy, and we've never seen, I don't think we've ever seen Gabe Kapler do that before. I don't think, in his 3 years, I think that's the first time I've ever seen him react like that.
Is it fair to question if this is more like discontent from the remaining guys on the team or just an isolated incident? I'm not even sure what I should chalk this up to, because even Bruce Bochy had an incident with Santiago Casilla in 2016, and then immediately Santiago Casilla kind of hey, you know what, I was wrong. I forget exactly what the specifics of that one were, but I remember him basically backing up, and Bochy had the 3 World Series championships as equity as well as just being an all-time good guy. So is this an isolated incident, you think, Flem?
I think it is. I do. Look, I think the bullpen is the place where you're most likely to have tension between a manager and parts of the roster. The bullpen is the spot where it's most easy for those players to be unhappy with how their being used or being used too much. There are just so many different directions for those guys to be a little cranky. I'm being used too much. I'm not being used enough. I'm not facing the right kind of hitters, the right spots in the lineup. You're not using me in the right role. I mean, that's, and so it's kind of natural that there might be some, but I just haven't, I'm around these guys all the time, and I just haven't noticed any of that on a scale of, on any scale. I mean, I just haven't noticed players complaining. So I think it was truly an isolated incident. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't see Zach after the game. I didn't see Gabe after the game. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think I am. I think it was just a one-time deal, and I don't know why. I don't know what. I mean, really, truly, Zach is not. Zach's not clueless. Like I'm sure he realizes, thinking back on it, the outing was set up for Alexander to come in, and he wasn't pitching well, and so I bet he immediately regretted what he did.
We're talking to Dave Fleming, the voice of the Giants. Of course, you catch him on NBC Sports Bay Area, also college football, golf, college hoops, you name it. Flem is everywhere. Talking a little Giants baseball as they won 3 in a row, beat the Cubs 2 out of 3. And of course, the Braves last night in a very tough pitcher Strider because Alex Cobb dealt last night. 7 innings, 6 hits, didn't give up a run, 7 Ks in 2 of his last 3 starts. He's been really, really good. He had to hiccup against the Dodgers back on September the 7th, but against the Phillies, pitched really well. This is a guy where I think you've talked about all season long, Flynn, where the Giants feel like they could find guys like this and add them to the rotation. It looks like Cobb could be a candidate to be back in the rotation next season.
Oh, he's definitely going to be back in it. He definitely is. Alex is, he has had a really, really good year. To me, he's a big bright spot. Early in the year when we were talking about him, we were saying, the numbers don't match the performance, and that's too bad because he's pitched a lot better than the numbers would indicate. But I would say now the numbers pretty much match. I mean, the numbers look pretty darn good, other than the fact that he doesn't have a lot of wins personally. He's had a terrific year, and somehow we were also always saying, except for the Dodgers. I mean, that's true for like every Giants pitcher. Except for the Dodgers, he's pitched really well. They do have to figure that out. They got to solve that problem, but so does everybody else. So anyway, Alex, that was one of his best outings of the year. The Braves are legit good. And I'm happy for him because I think it was grinding on him early in the year. The Giants just didn't play good defense behind him, and it kind of ruined his performance. And now they're playing good defense, and he's pitching great.
Yeah, he's looked really, really good the last few outings, and I'm really excited for him. We all want to see Rodon come back, but they did give a 2-year extension to Wilmer Flores. I feel like he's been this year's everyday lineup MVP, and I don't think moving forward they want him to be an everyday player. Most Giants fans like myself, we're looking for any code or anything that could signify what the offseason might bring about. Do you think the Wilmer Flores signing has anything to do with their future intentions on Longoria or Crawford moving positions or anything like it, or is this just, hey, we want to bring back Wilmer at a good price?
I think it's probably the latter. Again, yesterday was a weird day just because everybody was in a coma, so I didn't, it's not like I was bouncing around talking to everybody before the game, like, oh, yeah, that's, how about that deal, and what does that mean? I just, everybody was just kind of in survival mode, so maybe today I'll get a chance to get a better answer for your question, but I think, you rattled off those names there. Longoria is the interesting one. Mm-hmm. When you bring back Wilmer, does that mean that, because here's the thing about Wilmer. We all love him. I'm thrilled he's coming back. He's been a huge part of this team for 3 years. He's still young. He's still got a lot of good baseball left. That's a no-brainer deal to me. Like I'm with you. I'm thrilled he's coming back. Mm-hmm. But the Giants have also said, we need to get more athletic. We need to get better defensively. Right. And if you bring back the same team next year, you're not really accomplishing that. So I do think they still intend to do that, and that's where it's a fair question to wonder, okay, they've picked Wilmer, they've circled him. They've made their intentions clear about Jock. Whether that happens or not, we'll see. Right. But they've been clear about that. I think it's a looming question about, okay, how many more of those kind of players can you fit on this team for next year?
So Brinson, more athletic. Let's see what he can do. He didn't play yesterday. Basically had to one at-bat, pinch hit, play center field. We saw Calhoun, a longtime prospect with the Dodgers, got traded to Texas, made his debut yesterday. And then Joey Bart, who, look, had a big home run Saturday afternoon at Wrigley Field. It was really cool to see. Let's see some of the young guys play, because what you're talking about, Flem, that looks like Brinson is an athletic guy. Calhoun we'll see about. Bart we'll see about. Maybe they'll get more at-bats and we can see more of them and maybe drop down Wade and Yastrzemski in the lineup here, because, Flem, you're talking about it. You got to get more athletic. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and the guys, Wade and Yaz, it's just reality. They just have not performed. They just haven't. And they're not the only ones. So, there's a combination of needing to get younger and more athletic, and also just needing to get better performance and trying to evaluate or judge whether, okay, has this been a fluke thing these last few months, or do we need to make some longer-term judgments about some of these players? David Villar, put him on the list. I mean, he's been a real bright spot the last few weeks. You give him some at-bats down the stretch, see what he can do. And Bart is for sure in that mix. I mean, right. Joey has. I think Joey's made the strong case that he's a big part of this team going forward. Calhoun, Brinson, those guys are getting a chance.
Right. Let's see it. Let's see it, right, Flem? What's there to lose?
That's it. See it, and if they play great, they come to camp with a chance to win a job, great. If they don't, then you didn't lose anything. So I think you're right about that part of these last few weeks of the year.
Where you at this weekend, Flem? College football. We didn't ask you where you were at last weekend. Where'd you go, and then where you at this weekend?
Well, I was in Stillwater, Oklahoma. I had Arizona State, Oklahoma State last weekend. And ASU hung in there for a while, but just not quite good enough this year, I don't think. So this week I'm going to Utah. And on paper before the year, we thought it was going to be a good game, San Diego State, Utah. San Diego State beat them last year, but San Diego State has not started the year very well, and I think Utah will probably win handily. But Utah's a good team, so we'll see the Utes for the first time this year. It's a quick flight. It's a little easier than Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Stillwater, Oklahoma.
San Diego State got thrashed by Arizona that first game in their new stadium down there in San Diego. Flem, you are the best as always, man. Giants 3 in a row. What do you know? 3 in a row. They'll take on the Braves again tonight at Oracle Park. Flem, we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
I mean, it was such the Niners game was a bit of a downer. So, it's nice that the Giants are winning a good game.
Flem, I was out there in Chicago, man. The Giants were the bright spot Saturday afternoon at Wrigley Field. And let me tell you, first time at Wrigley Field, what a cool spot. Little yard, walking down Sheffield Avenue, Waveland Avenue. Try to get Shasky out there. Maybe we'll get him out there to Chicago next year. But a really cool experience. And in Soldier Field, of course, the weather just flipped. And it was a monsoon. So watching the Niners lose in person and then walking in that monsoon for 45 minutes, not a fun Sunday for you, boy.
Joe, you've never been to Wrigley?
No, I've been to Fenway. I've never been to Wrigley. We just couldn't afford it this summer.
Well, I'm not blaming you for that. We got to get you there.
Yes, I know. I'm going to the game Friday night, though. Big crowd going with us Friday night. I'll be at the Dodger-Giants game Friday night.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be on your best behavior.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not committing to that one, Flip. Not committing to that one.
I'll see you there. I'll say hi.
All right, see you guys.
All right, Flem. Dave Fleming, the one and only Dave Fleming, presented by the County of Santa Clara. Booking COVID-19 booster shot now at sccfreevax.org or call 211. Real quick, I want to hear from Kapler on the incident with Littell, and then I want to hear from Littell. Here's Kapler on the incident.
Okay.
I think Zach, wanted to stay in that. Wanted to stay in that game. Obviously, he's a competitor and wanted to finish that inning, and I think it was just his, wanting me to know that he wanted to finish that inning. There's obviously a way to do that. Zach knows that. We discussed it, and he knows that when I come out to get the ball, he just needs to put the ball in my hand, and we'll talk about anything later. We open the door for conversations around, when players enter and exit games, and I'm happy to discuss those things with players, and there's a way to do that. I think Zach understands that.
Hold on, did they handle it?
Yeah, we handled it and it's taken care of, and I'm not going to get into the details of that conversation, but he understands the situation.
What about Littell? What did he say on the incident with Kapler?
Purely out of self-frustration in my performance, and came out in a disrespectful way towards him. Obviously, that was not my intention at all. So that's on me, and we talked about it. I've already gone into his office, and that's that. I mean, I don't want it to take away from what happened tonight. Won a game against a really good team, and it sucks that this had to be a part of it. And I can assure you on my side it won't happen again.
I didn't know what he sounded like till then. I'd never heard him talk.
Well, because he shouldn't talk. He's got a 5 ERA, and the guy's given up like 25 runs in his last 30 appearances.
That's the first time I ever heard it. Does he want to address the situation?
Imagine thinking you're the manager of the Giants.
I know.
And 5.08 ERA, Zach Littell is giving you the business. And my favorite was put the ball in my hand. That was.
I expect you to put the ball in my hand, and we can have that conversation after the game.
Hey, look.
A couple cuts.
Yeah, keep going.
Obviously, on the field, we had a little bit, and then we spoke a little bit in the tunnel. That's something that we don't really want to address during the game, obviously. And we both knew that. Like we had a job to do and finish the game and get through that last inning, and that was the priority. And after the game, I went in, apologized for my part in it, and move forward.
What did you say to Kapler? Zach?
I just said that I wanted Olson. Not that I pitched well enough and deserve that at all, but I think any guy out there is going to want to finish an inning that they started. And that's all it was, is frustration that I didn't get through that, and not by any means frustration towards him, just frustrating myself. And
did you give the ball to Kapler? Did you give it to him, Zach?
Did you give him the ball a little harder than usual?
Yeah, absolutely, I did.
Yeah.
It definitely was not handled the way that I should have handled it or wanted to handle it, and I think stuff like that kind of gets caught up in the heat of competition sometimes. I obviously don't view myself as that guy or that would lose control like that, but it's a learning experience, and going forward, it's something that I won't let happen again.
I mean, you got punked by some like no-name reliever, basically.
So do you think it's an indictment on the clubhouse?
I mean, I've told you, I'm ready to move off of Farhan and Kapler. I would blow the whole thing out. When Zach Littell is dogging your manager, you've lost it. Here's the thing. The Bruce Bochy one that everyone's going to go to, Santiago Casilla, Bruce Bochy had the equity of 3 World Series rings, and clearly Santiago Casilla had won a ring for this team as the closer.
He was really good.
He was.
Really good.
And immediately apologized. Bochy tapped him on the shoulder. He came back, gave him the ball. But I wasn't what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Felipe Alou and Armando Benitez.
Oh, yes.
Because that's when I knew that obviously Armando stunk.
Right.
But Felipe Alou had completely lost touch with the clubhouse. Yep. So I just went down the rabbit hole, Bonte, and I want to laugh a little here because that's what I was thinking about.
All right. Because last night, because I do think, and look, you said blowing out Farhan and Kapler. I've told you.
I'm open to it.
I wouldn't lose sleep if they got fired.
That's what I'm saying.
I would wake up the next day, okay,
I don't know who you're going to go to.
I don't know who you go to, but they're going to have a pocket full of cash.
You just can't operate like this anymore.
But to me, I felt like, boy, did Kapler really lose the clubhouse? And from insiders and from people around the organization, I continue to hear that, Kapler, they think his act is phony. Players think his act is phony.
Well,
they do.
Well, when you lose touch, whether it's because you're too old and they're too young, whether people just don't like you, whatever it is, once you lose the players, you do lose your authority, and then people start doubting every decision that you make, whether it's Tony La Russa, Felipe Alou, it doesn't matter.
He put a little heat on the ball when he gave it to Kapler.
So do you remember when Armando Benitez was getting removed from the game by Felipe? He flipped the ball over his shoulder. It's one of the seminal moments. The Giants have scrubbed this from the internet. I looked for it for everyone.
I can't find it.
So here's what I found.
So there's
instead.
2 things they scrubbed. They scrubbed that, and they scrubbed the A-Rod home run when he was a Yankee.
Yes.
And he hit it like 550 feet.
I went to that game, 2007.
Yeah, it was like straight center field off of Tyler Walker.
I still have the plastic cup, Yankees-Giants.
Off of Tyler Walker. He hit that baby 550 feet. I can't find that home run anywhere.
So in honor of Armando Benitez and Felipe Alou and altercations of being removed from games, I went down the Armando Benitez rabbit hole and I found a Armando Benitez 10 greatest/worst moments in Giants history, and I'm just going to read a couple of them.
Okay.
The end. This was the end. The final blown save. He walks, then balks Jose Reyes in to tie the game.
Oh, that was in New York City. Yeah.
And then gives up a home run to his former team, and Carlos Delgado hits a walk-off.
Shea Stadium.
14th blown save for that season alone.
Oh, my gosh.
And his final appearance in a Giants uniform.
What was the date? What was the date of that game?
May 29th, 2007.
He had 14 blown saves before the end of May?
B, I'm telling you.
Wait a minute. That's got to be a record.
I'm telling you.
14
let me keep
blown
going.
saves and you're not even in June? That is, hey, Spinoni, come on, man. That's great.
That's Jim Johnson-esque.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Okay. July 23rd, 2006. Giants 5-game winning streak. They're about to sweep the Padres and take over first place. Benitez enters, comes strutting in. It's a 5-4 game. And they rally for 3 runs, okay? And Benitez gives up a home run to Termel Sludge. Giants lose in the 12th inning.
Termel Sludge, what a great name. Termel Sludge?
Here's the best part. I made a mistake. He threw a splitter. He got me. The guy came in and hit the ball. No excuses. He beat me. Then 3 days later,
oh my gosh,
Benitez enters the 9th inning of a Washington game. 3-2 lead. He walks the first 2 batters. And then there's a game-ending double play that's booted by Ray Durham. In the post-game presser, Benitez, I got a ground ball. Should have been a double play. I did my job. It gets better. A couple of weeks before that, or after that, I did my job, part 2. I did my job. I got 3 ground balls. And what happened? We should have won the game. How many times do people have to load the bases? I come in, I do my job, a guy hits a good pitch, and we don't make a play. Giants lose that game on a 2-run Rocky base hit off the glove of Kevin Frampton. I love it. I just love it. And that's when you knew Felipe Alou had lost it, when him and Armando Benitez.
Now that I'm thinking about it, we just watched the Captain Doc, and the brawl between the Orioles and the Yankees was started by Armando Benitez, and Strawberry went over there and slugged the hell out of him. No, dude, Armando Benitez smoked somebody in the back. That was like in the late 90s.
Here's the best. Okay, Armando versus the world. June 13th, 2006. Benitez is pissed off with the way he's been treated, quote unquote, to Andrew Baggerly, who was at that time part of the Oakland Tribune. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of being judged by people who don't know who I am. And now he says, I signed here with the Giants because I thought it would be different. Not now. Not me. I'm not the only one. A lot of people suck right now.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. The Armando Benitez experience. I forgot how rocky that was. Oh, my gosh.
Here's my favorite, though.
We need sound bites from this. We have to find sound bites of this. Not today, but in the future. When we want to laugh about I can't get over 14 blown saves by May 27th. Come on, man. 14 blown saves. It wasn't even in June.
Here's my favorite. And this is Zach Littall. We'll go back to Zach Littall for a quick second. He allowed 3 hits and a walk. And he thought he should have faced Matt Olson. Did he think he did his job?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, what's coming up? Sponsored by Kirby. We're going to get back into the Niners.
Lost it. Come on.
I mean,
it's not even him. It's Farhan. Farhan should be wearing a uniform sitting in the dugout.
Farhan did this. No doubt about it. I wouldn't lose
Imagine
any sleep.
thinking you should have pitched to Matt Olson in that moment.
I'm not saying the Giants should fire Kapler or Farhan Zaidi, but if they got fired, I wouldn't blink an eye. I wouldn't lose a second of sleep. This regime of Giants baseball just stinks. But
you know what's funny, B? Did you know that Armando Benitez actually had more saves in a Giants uniform than Mark Melancon?
No, of course he did. Mark Melancon did nothing with the Giants. All right, coming up, sponsored by Kirby. More of your phone calls, 888-957-9570. We'll get back into the 49ers and maybe take a little peek at the Seattle Seahawks as they come to town next Sunday at Levi Stadium for the home opener. We'll be right back.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake replacements, oil changes, washes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity Gateway.
Okay, you know those amazing spots only the true San Francisco locals are in on? Like that place with the square pizzas? Or Mama Hoo Hoo? The spot for sweet and sour chicken that's anything but so-so. Or up! You know, with the Granch dressing. And all the other spots the real SF locals know without us even saying them. Yeah, they're on DoorDash. San Francisco gets it. DoorDash has it.
If you're a professional builder or designer, here's some good news from Golden State Lumber. Their relationships with Capital Lumber, Cal Cascade, Humboldt Sawmill, and others have led to an increase in lumber inventory. Golden State strives to deliver most materials the next day, if not the same day. Be sure to download the Golden State app, which provides access to hundreds of resources. Find it at goldenstatelumber.com. For 3 generations, Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill September 23rd through September 25th for their fall clearance sale event and take advantage of one-of-a-kind opportunities. Visit Friedman's Appliance Fall Clearance Sale event for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family. What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Here's football legend Howie Long for Skechers hands-free slip-in footwear.
The world has gone hands-free, using the phone, turning on your lights, heck, even driving. However, if you want to put on a pair of sneakers, you still need to bend down and help your feet in. Until now. Introducing Skechers hands-free slip-in footwear. Let me tell you, these things are amazing. You don't need to lace up, and they're even better than your standard slip-on sneakers. This is next-level slip-in technology, where you don't need to reach down and help your heel in. You just step in, and off you go. It's that easy. So what's the secret? There's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide into place and also keeps your feet secure in heavenly comfort, which means they stay on just like a pair of laced-up sneakers. And you can even slip into them while you're sitting down. Make your life easier and go hands-free with Skechers' new hands-free slip-in footwear. You'll never have to struggle putting on your shoes again.
Get hands-free slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
In Hayward, we're looking for highs near 71, partly cloudy.
Weather brought to you by Pfizer and BioNTech. Whether it's the news, the traffic, the weather, or your COVID-19 vaccinations, it's important to stay up to date.
Score big with Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with the game-changing speed of supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers the field and then some. And blocks billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you protected at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
The Doobie Brothers 50th Anniversary Tour is coming to Shoreline Amphitheater September 27th, and 95.7 The Game has your tickets. For your chance to win, head to our contest page at 957thegame.com.
High fly ball in a deep right field, going back to the wall. Perez, and it's gone!
Now, back to the morning roast with Bonte and Shasky.
We're never going to hear from Tom Brenneman ever again, but that was him from Fox Sports.
You know what that was?
No, I don't.
That was Armando Benitez serving up a 3-run home run that tied the game. Mets-Giants 2000
That was the JT Snow home run?
NLDS, yes.
Was that Benitez
They were
who gave
down
it up?
4-1, the Giants were.
Benitez
and Benitez
gave that up.
Yes. Benitez is, anytime there's a blown save, he shows up.
Unbelievable.
I know.
I remember
He's
Franco.
the Forrest Gump of blown saves.
It wasn't Julio Franco, was it? It was Juan Franco. Who was John Franco?
John Franco, the lefty.
Struck out Barry Bonds looking in that baseball
Yes, he
game.
did.
That was Benitez who gave up the home
And
run
the Giants
to JT?
were like, hey, I know he's a Florida Marlin. After that, we got to get him. I know we're going to move off it. I just thought you'd laugh a little.
But like,
that JT Snow home run
was iconic.
All time.
That's why when people say Brandon Bell's a great Giant, JT Snow ain't. Brandon Bell ain't better than JT Snow. Sorry. I'm taking JT Snow every day of the week and twice on Sunday over Brandon Bell. I'm sorry. I'm not even hating.
No, he was clutch.
JT, people forget how good
and he batted over 400 in the World Series.
Dude, defensively, one of the best gloves we've ever seen at first base.
Absolutely. And the best arm.
And the best arm. And then when you talk about the plate, the RBIs he had, I think he had 3 or 4 100 RBI seasons with the Giants.
Do you remember the 14 strikeout game for Jason Schmidt in Wrigley where he dove over the shoulder, over the mound where the bullpen area was to make that catch like Jim Edmonds?
There was one regular season game in Wrigley Field where JT Snow was putting on a clinic at first base.
He's
putting
my
on
favorite.
a clinic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm taking him over that's a first baseman, folks. That's a great Giants first baseman. Brandon Bell ain't a great Giants first baseman. I don't want to.
I want to get back into the Niners, but before we move off the Giants for just a second, I can't unsee, and it's all over MLB Network right now, the Kapler-Littell thing.
It looks bad.
It does.
It looks bad.
And the way he stormed into the tunnel like that, it just, the whole thing just...
Kapler looking back at him. Austin Wynns looking back at him. It looks like they've given up on Gabe Kapler. And, you know, I was at a groundbreaking last week at Treasure Island for the SF Glitch. They just broke ground in their new stadium. Shout out to Ryan Macchiana and everybody. London Breed was out there. And I ran into a couple beat writers. And I won't say names. They basically were like, yeah, Kapler, his act is worn thin. Players believe it's a fake act. He's lost that club out. Just when he got kicked out of the game, remember he got ejected and players thought that was phony. That wasn't him. Some of his antics after the game, some of the responses after the game when he's explaining losses, they think it's phony.
Interesting.
They think it's phony. So I think he has lost that clubhouse. That's just my personal belief from everything I've heard. Now, whether or not he gets fired, I don't know. Am I asking for him to get fired? No. But again, if they blew out this regime, I would not lose a second of sleep.
It does feel like since the second Mauricio Dubon laid that bunt, it feels like everything has imploded since then. Now, maybe I'm misremembering it.
I told you.
But you called that.
When they
was
went
wrong.
out there and everybody was saying...
I said swing the bat,
but everybody was back in the Giants like, yeah, play hard for 9 innings. Yeah, that's right, Giants. Yeah, you keep playing hard. And I was like, it's going to bite you in the ass. And now look at you. You're 68 and 73.
Well, you're closer to the Pirates than you are the Dodgers.
That you just don't do that because of one season where you won over 107 games.
Well, that's the other thing I saw. Is like, oh, well, they did roll it back. You can't be mad at Foreign. They did not roll it back.
No, they didn't.
Gosman left. Okay, he was an integral part of what this team did last year. And I think you upgraded with Rodon, but it's not the same team.
No.
You let Bryant go, which is fine, but
he
you
only
didn't
played
upgrade.
41 games. He played 40, but people, they disrespect Chris Bryant
He
for
was
his time
good
with
in
the
the
Giants.
playoffs.
He was your best hitter against the Dodgers.
Yeah, and then Buster Posey's gone. Like, there's no way of replenishing Buster Posey.
No doubt. So,
and the bullpen is completely worse than it was last year.
No doubt about that. And just the fact that when they said that in Washington, like, yeah, we're going to play hard all 9 innings. It's up to the other team to stop us. Who the hell do you think you are? Baseball's been going on for over 100 years. Over 100 years. Unwritten rules, you may think they're stupid, but what they were pulling in Washington, stealing the bases, taking extra bases, we're going to swing. Like, it was a joke. And that's when I said, oh, boy, they think their stuff don't stink in San Francisco. And now you look at them. Now look at you.
Well, now they're stinky.
Now your clubhouse is going to get blown out. Kapler may not be back. May not ever get a job again as a manager.
Well, this is the other thing. I don't know what happened with Jake McGee, but clearly something happened. Right?
It was just, yeah.
You don't just let a guy go when your bullpen's horrible and you had no lefties forever. Something happened there.
Say what you want about Jake McGee. Jake McGee was a good reliever, and he was starting to turn it around with the Giants.
Was it grilled cheese? Is that what his nickname was?
I don't know. There's so much corniness going on at Third and King.
All right, let's get into
Hashtag
football.
game up.
Yeah.
Are we still doing that? Hashtag game up, or is it hashtag game off in the fourth inning, like our texter from the 510 said, Comcast Business Text Line? What's the joke of the day for the Giants?
Well, and then I'm seeing, Sam Lubman, God bless his soul. He's like, we're seeing this trade show some fruition here. Willie Calhoun.
Oh, my gosh.
I look at the Giants roster the last couple of weeks, and you know what it looks like to me? You know how in a video game where you make the first couple of draft picks,
right,
and then you hit simulate, and then you look at your team and you're like, oh my God.
This is terrible.
This is a horrible team.
Trust me.
It's a bunch of randos.
You look at the Wrigley Field scoreboard. Ask Mark Willard in 20 minutes about this. You see the lineups for both teams, the Cubs and the Giants at Wrigley Field. I literally paid attention to 3 innings of baseball. We just walked around and met friends and chopped it up and checked
I
out
heard you
Wrigley
were a
Field.
celebrity.
Not really. That's a lie.
You know who'd be a celebrity right now?
Trey Lance?
Jimmy Garoppolo in Dallas.
Oh, my gosh.
Why are you out on Jimmy Garoppolo getting traded to the Dallas Cowboys?
I would do it for a first-round pick.
Let's say it's a second.
I'd probably do it. But I want to protect Trey Lance. And what I mean by that is he going to be able to survive with that type of game plan? If he's going to run the ball 13 times a game and he's not going to slide, he's going to take punishment like that?
Well, that I agree with.
He does that against Seattle. He may get put out the game.
Yeah, Seattle's
a hard-hitting team.
Yeah, they look like they've been sniffing the salts.
Yeah.
I mean, they were jacked up yesterday.
Who's this number 57 guy running around?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Number 10. Who the hell was that?
He was the guy who was on the Rams. I don't even remember him on the Rams.
I don't remember him at all. So that's why I would keep. But at the same time, I'm looking at Jimmy, and I told you this yesterday. I couldn't help myself but look at Jimmy every dead ball. Every time they went to a TV timeout, I kept looking at Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm like, I can't believe he's on this team. I can't believe he's wearing the sideline hat on this football team. And that cloud, because think about what the nation is talking about. They should have moved off of Jimmy. They should have found a way to move off of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, it's created a lot of noise. That is undeniable. Whether you like to hear about it or not, because I don't like hearing about it, but the reality is it has created noise.
Yep.
Him just being there on the sidelines. And I'll raise my hand and I'll admit it. I was like, look, I think it's a good thing to have Jimmy Garoppolo as a backup because if Trey does go down because of the way he's running right now, it's a little reckless, then yeah, you have a nice backup. I think I underestimated the entire hoopla because now we're here. They've lost a game that everyone felt they should have won, and boom, drama's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's impossible to ignore.
By the way, Cody Barton is number 57 for the Seattle Seahawks. Cody Barton, and this number 10 guy is a linebacker. I'm not even going to try to. Nwosu play for the Chargers. Seattle's going to come in here hitting. I'm
already seeing a 40% chance of rain in San Jose on Sunday.
Oh, no, you're kidding me.
I swear to God. It's on my weather app right now.
You're kidding me.
I swear.
Seahawks had guys named Kobe Bryant and Michael Jackson, by the way. Were you listening to the game last night? Swear to God. They kept saying Kobe Bryant, Michael Jackson.
Well, the Cleveland Browns back in the day had a receiver named Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he was a tight end.
I thought he was wide receiver.
Was he number 88? I thought he was a tight end. Am I wrong?
Receiver.
Man, that guy was a smooth criminal, though.
Yeah.
He was. Here's Shanahan explaining Dre Greenlaw's penalties.
It was an unfortunate one. I couldn't tell on the film, so you had to go to the TV copy. We didn't have it on the film from our angle, so I saw it on the TV copy this morning. And he has his back to him. He's reaching around trying to grab for the ball. You can't see where because the guy has his back turned to Greenlaw, and he reaches and grabs, and it happens to be his face mask, and then he lets go of it. But they're going to call that because he did grab his face mask. But there's not much Dre could have done different about it. It was unfortunate, and what we got to do is overcome after that. And we had our opportunities to overcome that after it. I think we dropped the pick. I think Huff had a TFL after that. Then they ended up converting the third down, so it ended up hurting us in the long run.
Well,
stuff like that happens, and it's no excuse to give up the whole drive.
What I would counter to that would be on that particular play, it did feel like they already had him wrapped up. And I remember Deshaun Goldson was a very bad offender of this. He would come flying in when a guy was wrapped up and get the crazy personal foul by trying to light somebody up when a dude's momentum's clearly stopped and they got him stymied. In that situation, I get it. You want to make a play, but he was already completely stopped by 3 other guys. It's just, and if it was an isolated incident, I'd say, Dre, accidents happen. It feels like he's an offender of this way too often.
No doubt about it. What about Elijah Mitchell and his emotions after suffering a knee injury?
He was pretty down for obvious reasons. We're down for him. Elijah went through a lot last year. It's well documented the injuries he had. He had really worked hard this offseason. He was feeling really good going into that game, and man, I thought he looked really good before he got hurt. And the unfortunate hit that he had, trying to tell him to keep his head up. Anybody who would have got caught in that situation would have gotten hurt. I mean, with the way his foot planted in the ground and the guy hit his knee, I think we were just real fortunate it wasn't worse.
And what about the faith in other running backs Shanahan has?
I mean, we're always been comfortable with Jeff just because of his experience and what he's done here, and we know what we're going to get. The other 2 guys, I mean, they made our team for a reason. They're 2 talented players who we think can help us a lot running the ball, but they got to grow up fast. They're trying to compete and learn how to play better without the ball in their hand. With injuries and stuff, they're going to have more opportunities to get some carries and things like that, obviously, but they got to grow up and get this experience while on the run. So a lot more pressure will be on those guys, and we're going to have to pick it up as a group to help them out.
Tough sledding there at the running back spot.
Big picture, as we zoom out, we know what they've got for this week because Elijah's out. It's going to be Jeff Wilson Jr., TDP, who was the draft pick out of LSU, and obviously Jordan Mason, and who knows what else they're going to do here. But it does feel like big picture. I'm now coming around to where you've been for a while, and I know people will say, well, this could happen to anyone. And I'm watching Saquon Barkley. Now, he was highly overdrafted. I wouldn't take a guy in the top 10. Right. But all the best running backs, if you look around the league, the consistent bell cows are second round at minimum picks. Yep. All right. Nick Chubb's an example. All right.
Joe Mixon.
They need to invest heavily, in my opinion, if the game is going to be dictated by the running back situation, obviously in the offensive line. That kid from Texas running this weekend.
Oh, my gosh.
Running back,
Robinson?
I would love to have him. How do you pronounce his first name? Jihan?
I forget. I know it's Robinson, number 2.
I think it's Jihad or something like that.
But then
he's a baller. I think he's number 5.
Dude, you got 2 dudes at Ohio State.
Yeah, monsters.
Who can run the rock.
Well, I'm a little shy of those Ohio State running backs after Carlos Hyde and Trey Sermon.
Yeah, I hear you.
Back to back.
But Trey Sermon's more of an Oklahoma guy. He's more of an Oklahoma guy. But Texas, and it's not just having a bell cow. It's having a guy who could do multiple things.
And has juice to run away from everyone. That's the element I feel like they are missing. Raheem Mostert, for as injured as he was, he's a home run hitter.
Look at Dalvin Cook.
Absolutely. He switched numbers.
He looks sick at that 4.
I know. I didn't recognize him.
That's a Florida State number.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I was expecting 33, and I saw him in the game, and he was 4.
But here's the deal. I've been asking for this, and I think they tried this with McKinnon, Jerick McKinnon, and he got hurt right before week 1 of the 2018 season. Can I get a running back who could also be a threat in the passing game? I don't get, give me a running back who could do multiple things, a diverse running. Think about Saquon Barkley. He catches the ball out of the backfield. Mm-hmm. Joe Mixon, go look at his catches week 1 against Pittsburgh. He catches the ball out of the backfield. Najee Harris catches the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook.
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. I could go on and on about these running backs, dual threat running backs. The Niners haven't had that yet. So when you run a screen pass, how bad do our halfback screens look on Sundays?
It feels like they run screen passes to Debo.
That's it.
The
screen game looks bad.
It does.
Screen games look bad. So if you're going to invest third round picks, and now, look, TDP, you drafted him in the 3rd round. I want to see TDP this Sunday against the Seahawks.
No, he's got to be suited up. I was really like, whoa, wait a minute. It's raining and you're not suiting this guy up? What are we doing?
What about Jordan Mason?
Well, I wanted to see him at least just get a touch.
So I'm interested to see if the Niners are going to work somebody out this week.
Well, what about Kareem Hunt? Would you trade draft capital for someone who needs a contract?
I would trade a 3rd round pick right now for Kareem Hunt.
3rd?
Yes, I would. You've whipped on 3rd round picks for running backs.
Yeah, that's true.
You whipped on it with Trey. You cut Trey Sermon after a year.
And your 2nd round pick, right? And Aaron Banks looks bad.
Joe Williams was a 4th round pick.
Yeah.
You cut him before the regular season. You invested in TDP.
That feels more LA Rams like than it does 49er like in terms of how they've assembled the roster.
It does. It's not their philosophy, right?
But you sometimes have to go outside the philosophy.
And there's going to be people who say Kareem Hunt. We know what happened. That incident when he got cut from Kansas City. it feels like John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and this organization, Jed York, they've done a great job of finding good character guys. Guys who kind of just keep they keep their nose out of the street. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting into trouble. The days of Alden Smith and Ray McDonald and Bruce Miller, it feels like it's long gone. I'm Ed Brooks. It feels like it's long gone, right? They've built up enough equity to where they've had a lot of guys who've got good character.
Yeah.
I would take a chance on Kareem Hunt.
I would too.
I would take a chance on
Well, plus the league has allowed him to play, and I believe in rehabilitation.
No doubt.
I've had so many extra chances in my life.
Same here.
And this guy has gone through the process. He's been adjudicated, and now he's allowed to play. I would do it.
So I would do that because Kareem Hunt, yeah, he's going to have a contract, but a third-round pick for a rental with Kareem Hunt for 16 games? Now, I don't know what the Cleveland Browns situation is. I know they love Chubb. They love Kareem Hunt. But if Hunt's unhappy, bring him into the building. And you know what? If he balls out for the 49ers, I'd be willing to give him a little bit of cash. I would. I know what Kareem Hunt can do.
Him in the screen game with Kansas City, I think we've forgotten because he was so good for them, and the incident really blinded us. He was awesome for Kansas City in that screen game.
Oh, he was awesome as a dual threat. So do you feel me on like just a receiving threat? Like Mostert, we remember the angle route against Arizona the first week in 2020 when he ran that angle route against Simmons in Arizona and he burned him for 90 yards. I need that from my running back. Jeff Wilson Jr., no juice.
Well, he's a situational guy for me. He's a guy that like 4 or 5 touches.
And what about Jordan Mason? Can he catch the ball? Can Jordan Mason catch the ball out of the backfield?
I don't know. I mean, when you watch Georgia Tech, that's where he came from. They're like a triple option team.
Yeah, they were a triple option team. They were running the option all day long.
I don't know.
Kareem Hunt, that first year with Kansas City, his rookie year.
Yeah, give it to me.
272 carries.
Out of Toledo?
Out of Toledo. 1,327 rushing yards. Another 455 catching. He had 53 receptions. 53 receptions, all right? 3 touchdowns in the pass game. 8 touchdowns rushing, a long of 69. In the pass game, had a long of 78. This guy's a home run hitter. And then you see what he did against Carolina in week 1. I'm like, damn, this guy's good. So I'm just saying I need a back. And I'm not saying a bell cow, but you look at all these backs in the Super Bowl, man. You're not going to win Super Bowls and get it with a bell cow back. But look at the Seahawks when they had Marshawn Lynch. You telling me that didn't help them? What about the Patriots when they had their backs in Antoine Smith and then Corey Dillon?
Go more recently. I mean, they had 3 different running backs, LeGarrette Blount, and then they had obviously Sonny Michel that one year, and they still had the guy that they were throwing to, who was a little small guy.
Oh, James White, Deion Lewis, James White. Yep.
But they had different backs for different opportunities out there, and it always felt like they could just find those guys. So, I'm a believer that the Niners need to find some dude. TDP is interesting to me because when you see him up close and personal, it looks physically like he went to a big-time program.
Right.
He just seemed a little reluctant running the ball this year. He was a little reluctant. Mason felt more decisive.
And here's the deal, too. You know, some people might say, well, the Niners have had 5 leading rushers over the last under Kyle Shanahan. But to me, it's not about that. It's who was rushing the ball. Now, you look at 2019. They had all type of different backs,
what do you mean?
right?
Yeah.
You know, we're going to break this down. Mostert came on late, right? But he had juice.
Yes, he did.
Matt Breida, before he got hurt, had juice. The 80-yarder or 90-yarder, whatever it was, against Cleveland on Monday Night Football. Had juice. They started off with Tevin Coleman. Early on, Tevin Coleman had a lot of juice. Ran hard. And then in that playoff game against Minnesota, we forget they ran the ball 12 straight times. And George Kittle's looking at the side and saying, let's keep running the ball. And Tevin Coleman had over 100 yards. You had dudes, right? You had dudes. Part of the reason why they've had so many different leading rushers, because everybody gets hurt. Because you got a lot of fringe guys. Mostert was undrafted, all right? Tevin Coleman, we didn't know. He was a part-time back in Atlanta. Matt Breida was undrafted. Can you count on those guys who play 17 games a season?
No.
They're 6th-round draft picks for a reason. They're undrafted for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
No, I do, but I don't know how many backs in today's day and age are going to play 17 games. Like Derrick Henry is an outlier.
Joe Mixon, always available.
Yeah, I mean, even Chubb's missed a couple of games here and there.
Couple of games.
I believe one of them was COVID-related, but he's had a couple high ankle sprains because I've had him in fantasy.
And Kareem Hunt has been hurt, too. He's been hurt. There's
backs
no doubt
get
about
hurt.
That. Backs do get hurt. But give me a dude. And then give me a solid backup. Instead of having, like, bragging to everybody saying, hey, we got 4 or 5 running backs, man. We could go a lot of different options. These running backs are okay.
Well, it felt like they didn't have any running backs in the second half. Because, you know, like we highlighted, once Elijah went down, they lost the 10-yard run game.
For example, you look at Seattle since Marshawn Lynch. How's their running back room been?
It's It's been really ugly.
A lot of fringe guys, right?
Did you know that the Niners were the number one team in football last year for 10-plus yards, or at least Elijah was the number one player in football last year with 25-plus 10-yard runs?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
When they showed that graphic in the game, I said, whoa, and then he ran an 11-yard run.
Right. But Elijah was good. He averaged 4.7 yards
I know,
a carry.
I
But
know.
you said it after the Philadelphia game
He's
last
just
year.
little.
That Philadelphia game was physical.
It was a
And
body
you
bag
text me
game.
in the first quarter, I don't know if he could withstand the punishment. I don't know if he could withstand the punishment for 16 games or 17 games.
And he's gotten
he
hurt
didn't.
twice in this year alone.
Yeah. Somebody's asking on the Comcast Business Text line and YouTube, by the way, on our YouTube page. Subscribe to us on YouTube at 95.7 The Game. Thanks for everybody listening or watching on Twitch and, of course, the Comcast Business Text line. Would you take a flyer on Marlon Mack?
I mean, didn't he have the Achilles injury? Like, where is he at in terms of his juice? I would rather take a flyer on Kareem Hunt and I would rather trade draft capital for Kareem
How about
Hunt.
this for the 510? He looked good last year. 510 here at Comcast Business Text line. Dearness Johnson.
Who's the third or fourth string for the
He
Cleveland
looked
Browns.
good
I
when
did
Hunt
like
got-
him.
He looked good.
I picked him up, and then he didn't get any touches after.
He had that one game.
I know.
He had that one game, and I took the wrong
Was that
Cleveland
the Nick
back.
Mullins game on Monday night? Was that against your Raiders, Spadoni?
Oh, no.
To Ernest?
No. That was the Monday night in Cleveland game.
Yeah.
The ugly game. Yeah. When
Money
it was
Mullins.
windy. Yeah, Money Mullins.
It's actually Tuesday Night Football because of COVID.
That's
It was
right.
supposed to be on
Tuesday Night
Saturday.
Football.
They pushed
Look
it
at
3
us.
days later.
By the way, the NFL.
Daniel Carlson.
They showed-
winner.
They're so gangster.
The NFL showed that graphic in a doubleheader next Monday.
What
in
is
week
it?
2. It's Buffalo, Tennessee.
Wow.
And it is Eagles-Vikings in Philadelphia.
Ooh.
And they had the music blaring with it, and I was hooked. I was like, dude, the
Didn't
NFL.
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman feel big time last night?
Oh my gosh.
It felt like Monday Night Football was back.
It's back.
Yeah.
Buck and Aikman's so good.
I didn't flip on the Manning cast once.
Not once. I didn't even think
And
about it.
I almost always went to it last
I
year.
didn't even think about it. Let's go to Matt and San Rafael before we end the show.
Hey,
Matt,
Matt.
what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey guys, no, you literally read my mind talking about these backs. Right when I saw the final roster posted and that we weren't going to keep Hasty, I was like, there it is. I love Elijah Mitchell, but the guy just can't stay healthy. And I really liked Hasty. I thought he was a good downhill, kind of gave us that thunder and lightning look we had with Mostert and Breida. And then, sure enough, game 1, week 1, you lose Mitchell, and now you're looking at a really shallow depth chart at running back, and it's super concerning with Trey there. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know who's out there that you can pick up, but I did not like losing Hasty right off the bat after the preseason he had, and now Sermon was unproven, but again, like the Trey and Jimmy thing, I look at it and I go, yeah, you don't know what Sermon's going to be. Maybe he's not as good as Mitchell, but you know what Mitchell is the way you knew what Jimmy was.
Yeah.
Get a young guy who maybe has some upside, but yeah, it's hard to watch. I love Mitchell, but he just can't stay on the field.
No, he can't. Good call, Matt. And that's why, this whole thing about running backs where you could just plug and play any running back, I'm not asking for like a Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
But can I get a serviceable guy who's a threat?
I mean, I would
in
love
both
to have
the run
Derrick
and
Henry.
pass game. Like,
I'm not
you
gonna
know what
lie.
I'm saying? Like, give me a threat in the run and pass game.
So I'm looking over here at Trey Sermon, who was part of the Eagles this week. I see 0 touches.
Yeah, he didn't get a touch.
Did he even suit up?
Well, they have Gainwell and they have Miles Sanders.
I know that, but I'm asking, did he even suit up?
I don't even know. I don't even know if he was up on the 53-man.
I'll look that up while we flex.
Somebody said Jimmy Garoppolo for Tony Pollard. I think Ray Rattle said that yesterday on 95.7.
Yeah, well, Dallas do that.
Yeah, I'll take Tony Pollard in a heartbeat.
Would you take Zeke?
No, I'm good off Zeke. I'm good off Zeke, dog.
I know the money.
I'm good off Zeke. I'm good. All right, let's flex, Spadoni.
I'm not trying to take anything away from Jimmy. I love